Hi, it's me, the SpongeBob tier list guy. Today, for some insane reason, I'm ranking every single building in mainline SpongeBob. As per usual, criteria is determined by appearance and design, practicality, and memorability. Bonus points available if the building has a cozy feel to it. Also, a building has to have walls and a roof to count for an entry. We need an exterior shot of the place, and ideally, we also get to see the interior, but that isn't required. Alright, let's get going. These 250 plus buildings aren't gonna rank themselves. What? You thought I was gonna fade to black like previous videos? No! I installed some upgrades. We have technology. These are not buildings. I just refuse. You will legitimately die staying here. If not, you'll want to. The Sea Chicken Shack. This is what you spend your paycheck on? To go here? The walking health code violation? The chairs that literally break apart? That's not even mentioning the giant stupid chicken. Sure, let your kids climb on it. Why not? I want a full documentary / expose on the Sea Chicken Shack. There's something under the surface. It's so popular, yet they can't afford basic roofing? I hate the Sea Chicken Shack, and you should too. It is such a garbage waste of land and space. They couldn't even get the text centered on the sign. There's gotta be some tax write-off junk here. Hot Pepper House. Do you want to burn to death? Boy, do I have a place for you! Bikini Bottom Museum of Boating. I'm only including this here since it's an iffy edge case and I know someone's gonna ask about it in the comments. This is a museum dedicated to boating, but we learn at the end of Nautical Novice it still has driving capabilities since it requires maintenance. Thus, I'm counting this as a vehicle, not a building. It's just in the bottom tier to get it out of the way. Ditto for the houseboat in Ghoul Fools and the Flying Dutchman ship. Oh, right. By the way, take this punch card. Every time I cover a museum in this video, make sure to stamp a hole in it. Trust me, this will pay off later. Oh, can't forget either, take this free pass. This is a one-time voucher for me to talk about whatever I want for an entry. Empty Head Society Clubhouse. I couldn't afford a present this year, so I got you a box. That's what I got you! Bubbletown. You're not gonna make me cover all of Bubbletown, right? Thankfully, it's only 4 buildings, give or take. The first is a cute little school, the second is the Bubbly Crab, third is a prison, and finally we get a dystopian bubble office. Respectfully, I don't know what you want me to say. It's bubbles. They're fine, but they pop under all the pressure of other entries in this video. Club Sprinkle Doinkle. You and your big nose will never fit in here, even if you can climb all the way up. Service Station. Oh god, I'm in the Midwest. You like outhouses? How about a sad mud-filled playground? The service station doesn't deserve my time. Flabby Patty Shack. One really mean kick brings down this entire place. It's just an outhouse. Look at that design and primitive ventilation system. You're telling me quality food comes from here? It's a ramshackle piece of garbage that has managed to dodge Bikini Bottom's FDA, and I, for one, am glad this place closed down. Rusty's Ribeye. Even if it wasn't a ghostly apparition, Rusty's crappy shack makes me wish I was dead. Greenlight Driving School. There is no chance that bouncy castle is supporting the traffic light. Fitting with Mr. Greenlight, the place is a sham. Guy probably spent more on the wacky flailing tube guy than anything else. This place is across from Mrs. Puff's driving school, but it's a new location. Acceleration T Greenlight definitely didn't fork out the cash for a road to be built, so what building existed here before? The Krusty Krab. Yeah, I know. The Krusty Krab at the bottom tier. I would have never guessed it, considering how much it shows up in the series. At least it has some puppets inside for company. Yeah, I'm messing with you. It's not the Krusty Krab, it's the Krusty Krab. Squidward's Trash House. Lovely. It's at least a roof over your head. Is it worth it? Squidward finds himself in a trash replica of his home. Where do you want to go first? The living room with no life in it? The kitchen with toast band-aids? The shower that spits out gunk? Or how about the bedroom? Puke-inducing, vile, repulsive. What a travesty. Upside down house. Another Gary's Playhouse. Yeah, so I debated including this as an actual building. Obviously, you and I can't fit in it. Probably, but it does function as a building for Gary. It's more of a special edge case, to be honest, like the Museum of Boating from earlier. If you don't want to count any of those, I get it, but I just have to gush on how cute this place is. Gary transforms it into a snail-sized pineapple replica. He's got the chair, the couch, even the wall bobber. And oh man, this tiny Krusty Krab is adorable. I will die on this hill. The SpongeBob team can cook on location designs. SpongeBob's Trash House. I know it is complete garbage, but dude, some of these shots are so pretty. There's a reason why this is top of the tier. Still, best of the worst. The detail is nice, and I dig the structure. The balcony adds some charm here, though I imagine a bed of crates isn't so great. Great, not crate. Hope that joke wasn't too crating. Well, these are technically buildings. They are pathetic, probably dirty, and probably smelly. Also, chances are they have an asbestos lining. Imagination box repair. Well, it's better than an empty cardboard box. It at least has tangible furniture, like shelves. Compared to the earlier box, this one's much better. Still a cardboard box though. Vats of acid are us. Certain things in the world are not meant to be cared about. This is one of them. Bikini Bottom Arcade. Holy Poseidon and or Neptune, this place is sad. I haven't been here personally, but I know deep in my heart, it smells terrible. Only showing up in Karate Star, this sad excuse of an arcade has a few games. It has a soulless brown wall, complete with a dirty tiled floor. This isn't the vibe an arcade should have. Where's the lights, the color, the dazzle? An arcade's goal is to keep me enamored by the fun. The Bikini Bottom Arcade fills me with nothing except the stench of BO. Eat. You got it. The sign is the only interesting part here, and that's a pretty low bar. Honestly, at first glance, it looks more like a rest stop or something. Flipper's Donuts. You don't care about Flipper's Donuts. You don't even know what episode Flipper's Donuts appears in. I don't even know whether or not to count this for the video. We barely even see the outside, and there's literally nothing else to it. It came from the season 9 episode Patrick Man, by the way. JKL's Hut. Who cares about a stupid shack in the middle of nowhere on some forgotten island from a sleep-inducing special? JKL supposedly resides here, but the place isn't bigger than a dressing room. Bikini Bottom Prestigious Music College. I think you can already tell what my opinion on this ramshackle place is. The inside is a classroom with some generic posters and an outdated chalkboard. The coolest thing about this place is behind it, as when Professor Squilliam throws out some trash, there's a wanted poster. Who is this guy? This place sucks, but at least it's a roof over your head. Give it some time, that might change though. Guppies are us. Could you make a place more lackluster? Look at the walls, the singular sign. I don't trust this place with baby clothes. Also, this doesn't factor into my score, but who sets up a shop purely for baby clothes? Like a general baby store, I can understand somewhat. Maybe it has food, clothes, accessories, and more, but purely just clothes? Chances are we caught this place as it was going under, and frankly, I'm happy about that. Stupid idea for a store. Medieval Moments. I'm sorry, but it sucks. Check out the establishing shot. It's a single decorated wall stapled to the dingiest, cheapest warehouse possible. I know it's a jousting arena, but man, if it isn't empty, you've got banners. Congratulations. Even the king and queen's area looks cheap. That doesn't signify they are royalty at all. What monarchy rulers would sit lower than the disgusting working class peasants? What a sucky stadium. Maybe they've fallen on hard times and can't turn a profit. Hey, owners of Medieval Moments, I've got some simple business ideas for you. Number 1, axe throwing. Number 2, duels. Number 3, public executions. I know these are profitable. Call me. Golden Patty's shop. Taking it a step further than scavenging trash on the ocean floor, let's just use an actual corpse. Poor Mr. Krabs. I'm in love with the colors and texture, but I'm not sure there's much longevity here. It works as a restaurant shack, but I wouldn't want to stay here for long. Granted, I'm not a hermit crab, or plankton, so take that as you will. Tough Tavern. Tough Tavern isn't real. This was a fever dream. It doesn't exist in the 2 episodes it supposedly pops up in. This is further supported by an image on the wiki. What am I looking at? What is this? Why is this? Gas station. What am I supposed to talk about for a gas station? It functions. Oh boy. Banana House. One of the houses that appears in Unreal Estate. I really do not trust the structural integrity here. The roof is already sagging. If we're going by the rules of SpongeBob's pineapple, which the banana is meant to replace, then it's bigger on the inside. You could definitely fit a great spiral staircase in there, but I don't know what else. It'd work as a house, but in 5 to 10 months, you'll already have to be replacing the siding. Don't slip. Record shop. It's as forgettable as the episode it comes from. Noses and things. I'm not apologizing for this. The plastic surgeon who runs this place is so creepy. It feels like I hit randomize on a character generator. Are those earrings or just rings attached to the hair? What's with the scar on top? Noses and Things matches its creator. There's a wall of noses. That's all I need to say. Bikini Bottom volleyball courts and appraisal center. This is the dumbest building yet. It's only held up by the cosmically stupid idea of a volleyball court and pawn shop together. The store is run by this sleazebag. It's nothing special at all. I can feel the damp, musty, and sweaty air, and I'm not even in the building. Chicken Parmesan Hero House. Gonna be honest, I did not know a sub sandwich can also be called a hero. Apparently it also goes by Grinder, Wedge, or Spucky. Despite the obvious health concerns, it has a ton of space. I think your rating will be determined by utility. You can fit a ton of furniture in here, but can you stand the eventual stench? You think soggy, rotten chicken will smell good? That's not even to mention the grease. Like the banana house before, I like the look and can see a way to make use of this place. It just needs a massive amount to make it work though. Tom's Toolery. For a guy whose existence in the show is being loud and annoying, Tom's Toolery is incredibly simple and quiet. It's just barely shown enough to count for this video. Conveniently placed rock groomer. Thank Neptune, I was needing a place like this. I don't have any major commentary here, unless you like pink. There's so much. And another room is instead light green. Ugh, too much color. Eyes hurt, I'm bored. The designated area where you are permitted by Man Ray, your ruler, to obtain sandwiches using Man Ray dollars. 1984 has never looked so aquatic. Frankly, I'm surprised Man Ray hasn't minted currency. Wouldn't it be better as a god, emperor, king to use something like food tickets? You'll get even more control over your disgusting subjects. Oh well. Here's the lobby of the former Krusty Krab. Looks amazing. This is how Man Ray enslaved the town. There are prisoners with slave collars, but it's not everyone. The fish eating inside the designated area seem to be free. Is it like 1984 when the common person is left alone and it's just higher class working citizens in the main loop? There is a fish at one point acting as some kind of guard enforcer, so there's gotta be some kind of brainwashing or propaganda system in play. Weird how SpongeBob has parodied 1984 twice. Shout out to Consumer Sandy, saying, and I quote, "It's time we show all you capitalist overlords that you can't shovel the same old dreck down our throats anymore." I wish SpongeBob would make more dystopian stories, so I'd have an excuse to make a whole video on this. Nursery. I feel like this was an emergency plan. This place is not suited for a nursery. The building itself is just a repurposed residential house. It's a baby house, so it obviously isn't going to be winning any decoration awards, but they do have actually nothing. Also, what is a nursery not doing attached to a hospital? You're telling me that expansive place doesn't have 1 or 2 rooms for infants? Department of Motor Vehicles. About 70% of my audience is from the United States and will immediately understand my hostility to this entry. For the other 30%, I don't know, it might be similar in your country. I have never had a good experience at the DMV. I don't think anyone has, even the people getting paid, barely, to work there. Who doesn't love taking a day out of the work week to go sit in line for 2 hours to renew a license? What a blast. Galleria Diphtheria. This art gallery shows up in Squid Plus One and nowhere else. We don't even see inside. Really, the only notable thing is the name. Diphtheria is a bacterial infection, commonly hitting the mucous membranes of the nose and throat. So basically, you get all stuffy. Sounds like someone with a big nose I know. Harry's Gym. It's just a copy of Larry's. Harry's is going out of business though. What do you think brought it down? Drugs or sports betting? I could see it either way. Krusty Factory. It's more like a compound, really. The actual factory is pretty simple, but this place sucks to work at. Look at these poor fish. Mrs. Puff's Lighthouse. By nature of being a lighthouse, this place can't really do all that much. I like the look of it during Lighthouse Louie, but again, it is just a lighthouse. It's used for storage. I bet the view is killer though. It doesn't do anything wrong, but the ceiling for a rating here is incredibly low. Kind of ironic, considering it's one of the tallest buildings. Sorry, Lighthouse. Cooking supplies. An oven mitt. Oh boy! Sadly, that's the only interesting thing here. These walls are so lifeless. This gives me the vibe of a Five Below. That's not a compliment! Nut Barn. It's an asset flip of Old Man Jenkins's barn. It shows up for 5 seconds, then dips. Boo. Recreation Center. There's a reason why this place is central to a bunch of mediocre episodes. K-Blub. It's a radio tower. Sponge and Pat Climate. Yeah. Rest Home. We need to have a talk with the city planners. Why? Why in Neptune's name is this directly on a railway? Some of the seniors literally have tables and chairs on the tracks. It's almost like they're trying to get the elderly killed. Wait a minute, Bikini Bottom Bathhouse. This is on the list. I guess the fonts are cool. I'm letting my own bias win this entry. I think public bathhouses are weird. Head House. I do not feel safe. Shady Lanes Assisted Living Facility. Don't mix this up with Shady Shoals. At least the outside is a bit decorated. This place lacks soul and hope. I feel terrible for the seniors living here. Snail Bites. You know, in any media, when a character or dad goes to work at the factory, this is that factory. It uses the space well. Not sure why it's out in the middle of nowhere. Maybe to avoid safety regulations? Hope you got your tetanus shot. 1942 Wizard Street, the home of the legendary sorcerer, Mr. Magic. It's a single stone tower with a giant wand on top. There's also a fancy road. I'm at a bit of a yellow brick crossroad. On one hand, it stands out, but on the other, it's rather empty. There's not even any windows. The inside is the same. It's one grand hall of curtains and nothing more. Considering how Mr. Magic is nothing more than a scam, I don't believe this is a residence. Maybe it's just me, but does the empty hallway remind anyone of the creepy passage in Super Mario 64? The one that leads to Bowser's submarine? It's just off-putting. Ugh. The flooring is the most interesting part. That is never a good sign. The Teenage Boy Museum. Whip out that bingo card or whatever I called it. We've got the second museum. I want to know how this building got funded. What cultural insights can a teenage boy museum provide? It's not even a famous teenage boy museum. Loving that singular window. I'm glad it got destroyed. Bikini Bottom City Hall. Neptune. You'd think such an essential building to Bikini Bottom would be set in stone, right? I can't even count how many times its shape or color has changed. So it started out as the Bikini Bottom Town Hall and Fun Center, it then just becomes a generic City Hall building. Also, during It Came from Goo Lagoon, we see a couple getting married out front. Right in front of City Hall? At least it'll be cheap. Depending on where this entry ends up in the ranking, you may recognize this building. Yup, it's a recolored bank of Bikini Bottom Bank. But once we hit Cave Dwelling Sponge, it's now a much larger and fancier building. I don't know anymore. And we're not done, because in Something Narwhal This Way Comes, it's reverted back to the wooden box design. Whatever. If it would have stayed consistent, I'd have given it probably a 2, but I don't like having to put tangible research into this. Why do we need 2 separate wiki articles for Bikini Bottom City Hall? Bikini Bottom's government is wasting tax dollars on pointless renovations? What's new? Courthouse. I'm so tired of Bikini Bottom Town Hall. This time it's transformed into a courthouse. This entry feels like I'm doing jury duty. Crabio Mondays. I've never seen something so soulless. What does the Crabio Mondays stand for? Not the name. The spirit. A void. Crabio Mondays is a void. Ow! Just hit my fan. Ow! Throw in whatever junk the family's like. You've built a monument to nothing. I haven't even mentioned whatever the kitchen is supposed to be. The more YouTube videos I make, the more I come to really appreciate selling out. The episode, not me selling out. May you forever suffer in Davy Jones's locker. Howard Blandy. Stinky Burgers. I'm not the smartest businessman, but why would you sell yourself as a computer science major? Literally, the only reason this restaurant did well is because there was nothing to oppose it. Imagine a world where the only dining option is Burger King. Yeah, I got goosebumps too. The one and only point I give it is the outside section. We haven't really seen an outside lobby for most buildings in town before. Doesn't save Stinky Burgers though. Frankly, this feels like one of the thousands of nameless ghost kitchens from the pandemic. It even got hit by the health department too. Doodle Bob's house. I actually really dig this place. It has that unique charm to it. Of course, it probably sucks to live in, and the house is likely to come alive, just like Mr. Doodle over there. Doodle Bob's house itself is fairly okay, but I think what makes it great is the potential it has. That pencil lets you draw anything. Want a new kitchen? Design it yourself. Pool? Whip out a protractor and compass. I can't rate this house on what isn't there, but it's still fun to think about. Top secret laboratory and research facility. The top secret, they've got plants. Whoa. No, you're kidding me. Dude, I'm already running late with this video and now the power shuts off. What do we do now? I'm not even getting any signal. Kinda crazy how much we depend on technology nowadays, huh? They didn't even have electricity back in the day, let alone phones or elevators. Oh, speaking of, there are actually some old buildings in town from back in the day that didn't have power either. Deadeye Funeral Parlor. And Ice Cream Parlor. At least it's a 2-for-1 deal. During the Goofy Newbie, we're shown a company history video for Goofy Goobers. That ice cream parlor has to be the same one in Deadeye Gulch, right? According to that video, Reginald Goober, the founder, left his town in 1842. Guess what though, idiot? Pest of the West canonically takes place around 1882 according to a DVD description. That training video though says Reginald sold his ice cream in a time before cones and refrigeration. SpongeBob SquarePants has a cone. 40 years before Reginald's journey of founding modern day ice cream, SpongeBob already had it. 4 decades before Reginald's journey of founding modern day... Wait, what? Left his town in 1842. Oh my god, I'm so brain dead! Am I just stupid? 1882, 42. What? It takes 40 years after! God, no! I made an entire bit here about how Reginald Goober sold out the town to Deadeye Plankton and that's how he started his ice cream business, but no! I guess I just don't know how dates work. Newsflash, idiot, 1842 comes before 1882! Wow, that really stings. Oh, well that kind of derails my entire bit. I guess we're just skipping it. We're stuck between floors right now until the elevator moves, so I gotta go back to my old ways and give the score manually. The funeral/ice cream parlor gets a 2. Deadeye Jail, just a typical Wild West jail. It's where Reginald Goober should be. 1. So this was also in reference to the ice cream parlor. Just go along with it. The Krusty Cantina. The cantina has that old world charm to it. There's an extended section in the front for windows and a sign, with an overhang out front. Can't forget the parking either. Take note of the light bulbs being oil lamps, the stage, and the doors. Where the Krusty Krab is a fast food joint, the cantina is a bar. Pappy Krabs, yes, that is his name, even owns a piano here. Why can't the modern day one install a jukebox or something? 3. Ugh houses. These 3 are from an era long ago. Patar's rock is literally just the same as Patrick's. SpongeGar lives inside a malformed pineapple and sleeps on the floor. His alarm clock is a rock that drops on his head. Squog is living the best life. Somehow his house comes with a 2nd floor. Look at Squog, he's even developed a locking mechanism. Good for him. Sadly, there is no furniture, no amazing decorations. Nothing. These houses are here purely because it is just a serviceable structure. Not a good one, just serviceable. 2. Planktonomor's Tower. Planktonomor's colossal fortress is awesome in the best way. Sucks to live in though. It's a long and winding staircase. Later in the show we do see a throne room which looks menacing. Planktonomor's Tower is less about livability and more so focused on sheer raw power. And I'll give it credit, this image goes pretty hard. 3. King Krabs' Castle. Just like Planktonomor, Krabs also has a Dunces and Dragons counterpart. I love the look and especially how expansive the castle is. Check out this brickwork or the stained glass. There's even a dungeon full of skulls. The one thing holding me back on the castle is the entrance. That is such a long climb. I guess they have seahorses for it, but I don't know. 4. Blacksmith. Check out this sign. Isn't it great? There's nothing else special enough to mention. 2. Ye Old Folks Home and Bowling Alley. That's one tiny alley. It's a whatever design. Too bad it got burned down by the dragon jellyfish. 1. Oh, that was faster than I was expecting. Well, instead of the sensible option of leaving the elevator, taking the stairs, or calling a repairman, let's just hope the power stays on. Boring, boring, boring. These structures lack soul. They may hold up, but they have no impressive design. There are likely some good parts, finally, but it gets outweighed by the overall lethargic feel of the place. Laundry. This laundromat sucks. It's boring, ugly, and sterile. Are you jumping up and down, finger pointed at the screen? No, because it's just laundry. Now, one later down the line in the video, that one I get. Old Man Jenkins's barn. Yep, that's a barn. Bikini Bottom Pillow Factory, Pin Factory, Scissor Works, and Pitchfork Pantry. All 4 of these are shown rapid fire during Bubble Buddy returns, so I'm hitting them all in one entry. We don't really see inside any of them, except for the Pillow Factory, so we're judging purely on exterior looks. I like the Pillow Foundry's design, but am put off by the smokestacks jutting out. The Scissor Works is the most standard of them all, and the Pitchfork one is just boring. Together, they are bog standard. Maybe except for the Pillow Foundry. Movie Palace. Okay, I am confused. Movie Palace is one of the 3 or 4 cinemas in town. We first see it built by Krabs when he wants a penny from SpongeBob. Long story. It ends up destroyed, but later in Fiasco, the Movie Palace is now alive in the center of town? Huh? Did Krabs rebuild it or franchise it out to someone? The current flick being played is just Goo Lagoon. What? That is not Goo Lagoon. I have so many questions that will not get answered here. Concert/orchestral hall. Season 6's favorite location. I'm hoping they aren't using an actual corpse. It's one of the more boring concert locations. The clam is the only thing going for it, and it's just not that impactful. Bikini Bottom Library. This is a plain, simple library. It's fine, but there's a non-Bikini Bottom owned library way later on that is so much better. Mrs. Gruff's Biking School. Another carbon copy like Harry's Gym. Interesting that the place is for biking now. No boats at all? I guess they're doing good work at lowering emissions. Bizarro Bottom really is the opposite of our world. Shirts is us. Could you at least try to be interesting? Harold and Margaret Squarepants' house. Sorry, I haven't been able to get that out of my head for the past month. You know, I really thought we had visited this house a lot more. Really, the only interior scene is in Blackjack. For presumably being retired, the house is surprisingly lacking. I like the paintings, but it feels like an apartment that is waiting for more decorations. This awful painting of SpongeBob takes the cake though. Bikini Bottom Men's Club. Only appearing in Squidward's School for Grown-Ups, this is a fancy club. I want to like the place. They have a nice carpet rolled out, fancy chandeliers, and comfy chairs. But I just don't know. It feels fake. I don't have a rational reason for this, but just the vibes are not there, and I can't tell you why. You would assume the buildings that get the most funding would be top tier, but the men's club feels incredibly shallow. Sweaters. I don't care. Martha's Craft Zone. Before I show you any images, I want you to recall this place. Genuinely, try to. Do you remember what episode of Martha's Craft Zone comes from? Any colors? Any products? I could not come up with anything. It's this store featured in Have You Seen This Snail? Besides being owned by whoever Martha is, the Craft Zone has one notable feature. 3 parking stalls. 3. I hope your store burns down, Martha. Bank and Bank of Bikini Bottom Bank. I'm not making these names up. One of the variations is literally called Bank of Bikini Bottom Bank. Both have their differences, but inside they are carbon copies. The Bank of Bank whatever has the most design I've ever seen. A white box. At least the other bank tried to fit the theming of the town. A treasure chest design is leagues better than some placeholder asset. Doubling down on being lackluster, both banks have terrible security. We see multiple instances of the places getting robbed. If one fish using chum can get to the vault, you have failed. Hotel. The Hotel is where Mr. Krabs goes for that penny pinching award. The one where he steals everything. We don't even know the hotel's name, only part of it. There are what feels like 20 different hotels in the show, and this sure is one of them. Bikini Bottom Bus Depot. It's nice to finally see where all those iconic buses start and stop at. The navy blue works well. We only get this one scene of it from No Pictures Please, so not much to comment on. Could any marine biologist watching explain the bathroom signs? I think the women's restroom is on the left, men's on the right. I'd recognize those red shoes anywhere. Incidental 63. Bikini Bottom Mint. Money, money, money. One of the typical box designs we've seen thus far, but it is locked down, complete with a golden banner on top. We get a tour of this place during Mr. Krabs' vacation. Obviously, it's where Bikini Bottom makes no money. We get some overall shots of the place, like their conveyor lines or money shredders. Now, I'm no factory worker or designer, but engraving each coin one by one seems incredibly inefficient. It's fine. I don't know how a mint can be exciting, to be honest. Bikini Bottom Television. It's a broadcasting station, most notably appearing in Model Sponge. The inside has a lot going on, with wall decals, plants, tables, sofas, and more. It gives me iffy vibes. I can't fully describe it, but it comes off as very fake. Later in Smartificial Intelligence, the building changes to a shade of yellow alongside some other alterations. It works for a TV station, but I would have loved to see the actual newsroom. Let me see the main desk, the camera setup, the green screens. Dr. Crabton's, a skyscraper prone to money fights. It's rich, but lacks character. As much as I want to believe, Windows cannot carry a design alone. Boat wash. First seen in The Getaway, the boat wash is cute. As you've seen throughout the video so far, SpongeBob loves using giant objects as the building for their service. Here's the most recent version of it, and why it's in the second tier. This makes me so irrationally angry. Imagine you need to clean your boat. Maybe you hit a swarm of nematodes or something. You're gonna go here? With this smug barnacle on top? People with monocles and pipes don't get car washes. They get others to do it for them. I'm being patronized by a car wash. The actual sign is good at least, but that whale makes me so annoyed. Something about him. I just want to punch his rich golf-playing face. Near Mint comic books. I feel like I should have a lot to say on Near Mint, but I don't. It's a comic book store. The more episodes it appears in, the more shelves it gains. The outside isn't anything special. I want to introduce my favorite superhero, Masculine Man. Also, here's a billboard from the Pikmin series. Cafe Pulp? Polyp? Cafe Pulp Fiction. Nice awning. Too bad I'm yawning. Cephalopod Lodge. How do I rate a cult headquarters? It's still in town, given the few buildings with lights on nearby. I think this is the upgrade of Mr. Magic's house back from the first tier. It's just one giant room or corridor. Still, not great at all. This is what you use your indoctrinated members' money on? This stupid big pyramid? You aren't even using the upper levels. We could achieve the same result by renting out the rec center. Legit. What is the point of this place? What do the cephalopods actually get up to? What a waste of an opportunity-filled building. I thought octopuses were known for their big brains. Okay, I went to look that up to make sure my statement was correct, and I fell into a rabbit hole about animal intelligence on Wikipedia. Look at this image and caption. A monkey drinking fruity from a juice box using its hands. And if you want to be depressed instead, here's a blurb I found on the elephant intelligence page. Be warned, it's very sad. To cheer you up though, I went even deeper and ended up on the, and I'm not kidding you, monkey selfie case. There was a guy, David Slater, who was trying to photograph some celebs crested macaws. Hey, it's me editing the video. I meant to say macaque, not macaw. Macaques are primates. Macaws are the birds from Rio. And they ended up triggering the camera equipment, leading to probably hundreds of photos taken by the monkeys. The photos make people go bananas, and it goes viral. Sites begin to use the images without Slater's permission, claiming that they fall under public use, and thus we go to court. Of course, PETA gets involved, and they end up naming the monkey Naruto, I guess?
In the world of Naruto, is there legitimacy and illegitimacy? With regard to citation, monkey see, monkey sue will not do in federal court.
The ultimate question boiled down was if a non-human can hold copyright. The court decided no. The images are available for public use. Copyright must be created by a human. Did not think I'd end up here when I started the segment on the Cephalopod Lodge, but life finds a way. Chum Coliseum. Whatever. Evil Store. Or, as Google Translate apparently tells me, store. It's a cartoon-styled bomb. No inside shot, which is a shame. I would have really liked to see all the various evil devices and tech. What sections would they have? More importantly, what items would be on clearance? Master Udon's Tower. It's a few floors of fairly empty rooms, starting with a basic wood paneling, then whatever this is, then some nasty sewer room, and finally we end up on the top floor with Udon. Okay, Master Udon, I know you're part of a pyramid scheme, so you aren't that smart, but really? You're gonna put the smelly guy right below your floor? Not at the bottom? For being on such a cool island, it really doesn't make use of it. Granted, that's probably the point due to the whole thing being a scam, but you get it. Costume supplies. The one screenshot of this place is funny. They drew in some shelves and outfits in the back. That's nice. It goes by so fast, I don't have any notable comments. Angry Jack Shell Emporium. I'm surprised there's a big enough market for a snail accessory store. If anything, I would assume a vet office would have some kind of deal here. It's an appealing building, but I imagine the verticality doesn't get used all that much. Inside, it's a fairly basic design of shelves. As SpongeBob ends up destroying the place, we see a ton of inventory here. For how explosive the outside is, the inside is lackluster. Angry Jack has a better design than his own flipping store. I just get the vibe that I'll be scammed if I go here. Mel's Man Salon. How do they get the cord to stand up like that? Actually, how do they have the whole building standing up like that? Only the toughest and baddest men can enter. I'm sad to say, but Mel's drops the ball. For such a great design outside, the interior looks like a revamped office complex. There are free unibrow waxings every Tuesday though. Points are given for the posters. I love the one of the Anchor Arms guy. I'm just not feeling this entry. Discount Grocery Mart. I swear to Neptune, if I see one more Kroger ad with that ugly art style and chipper music, I'm gonna lose it. That statement encapsulates all my feelings on the Discount Grocery Mart. Gifts. I like how off this place is. A random gift shop in the middle of nowhere with no employees that we see. Sponge and Pat end up buying things from here, but from who? Why set up shop in the middle of a terrifying forest? There's a cash register there, so someone has to work here. Even all the cheap knickknacks are here. I can't tell if this place is even real. Bunny Buns. Free me from this mortal coil. Bunny Buns is where Krabs winds up in Midlife Crustacean, alongside a later appearance in the show. I respect the details of the place, but that doesn't mean I have to like it. Shout out to Sea Cucumber Stackers and Clam Fighter. If you're a kid, this probably would be high tier, but the horrible smell of cheap plastic and cleaning chemicals stops me from saying too much. No, I'm not making the joke. Dolesville Senior Living. Besides the sign, I would not have guessed this to be a senior citizen place. Check out the lawn flamingo! I do really like the coastal painting with the lighthouse. Other than that, pretty boring. Dynamite Factory. Why do we need this? How much excavation does Bikini Bottom do? We've only seen mine shafts for mustard and other condiments. Is there some massive quarry operation in town? I mean, I guess there are various large corals, so maybe that's what this place is for? Fancy Hotel. This is, and get ready, the hotel that Mr. Krabs stays in during Krusty Towers. It's just a hotel, so I'm not expecting anything grand. The main room is fine. The chandelier is the standout element. There's also presumably some common room, complete with a fireplace and the always iconic plaque, "We shall never deny a guest, even the most ridiculous request." This place seems like your average hotel. That is, a scam. $25 for a hamburger, $20 for a sauna, $80 for a pool. The hotel is lucky the criteria isn't based on service and cost. While I was looking for images, I came across this screen for an online game, Pool Party Pooper. Shout out to the SpongeBob Flash Games archives, that's where the footage you are seeing comes from. Instead of writing more of this script, I proceeded to play half an hour of obscure SpongeBob Flash games. Anchovy Assault is peak. Hey, good news! I figured out the secret to doing long voiceover sessions. I got a chair! Milkshake. It's got a retro look to it. Tiled floor, bright colors. This place seems like a fad, like it's some new place in town you go to once and then realize the products are overpriced and overrated. Milkshake Academy. I want to say the Milkshake Academy is decent. They have a giant milkshake statue on top of the building. The rooms are forgettable. A cherry firing range is cool, but nothing really jumps out at me. Maybe that's the point due to being a military academy? Who knows? Full of health. About time. I love Full of Health. Even if it's just a lesser bargain mart, it has nothing special going for it besides the products like canned bread, but that's the goal. It's in Tentacle Acres, so of course it has to be boring. Full of Health wants to be boring and lackluster, and who am I to deny that? I'm gonna sit up, hold on. Ow, ow, my back. Ow. Oh god, now I gotta readjust the mic. It's probably going to pick up all the plosives and all the sibilants and all the other fake things that audio engineers come up with to justify their salary. Interpretive Dance Academy. Same as Full of Health. It's meant to be boring. I also never noticed, but even all the buildings in Tentacle Acres are the same design. Same thatch roof and siding, even with the same kinds of signs. Really pushing the homogenous squid community. Animal Shelter. This place is sad. The animal shelter appears over a few episodes, but its first appearance has added barbed wire to the top. I do have to give credit though, I like the interior. It's grimy and cold. As sad as it is, it's really funny to have the place treated like some kind of monster hunter's museum with bounty posters of wanted animals or even a full-on harpoon gun. Never change, Marvin. Hey, no, I only said it's like a museum. Not it is. Put away the punch card. Check out this backyard area. Those walls are nowhere near tall enough to stop any animal. I think the design is pretty decent, but it is still an animal shelter. It's gonna be fairly depressing. Let's hope those walls hold though, considering the feral sea bear it has locked up. Yum Bucket. Yummers. What an appetizing restaurant. Chum used to be fum, now it's just yum. And have a sock while you're at it. Sure. Pawn shop. On first glance, the pawn shop is nothing special, but have you considered, number 1, the balcony on the left building? Have we ever seen that in this show? I know it's not the pawn shop building itself, but I love it. Number 2, look at how cramped it is. I adore this packed in feeling. Number 3, the place is huge. It holds the Krusty Krab inside of it. You could probably fit like 10 Squidwards vertically in the Krusty Krab, if not more. The pawn shop still has space above that. It's gotta be over 100 feet tall, or at least close. The inside and actual design are nothing to write home about, but man, that scale is throwing me off. But to be fair, you could have the biggest building in all of the show and have it feel lonely. The pawn shop is cool for the size and area around it. Oh, and it's run by you. Great. Did your failure of an appraisal store not turn out? What are you putting your slimy hands in next? Real estate? Hot dog shop. That's a stupid take. Absolute peak fiction. It's a shack that I'm 95% sure came from Goo Lagoon. It sells hot dogs and nothing more. The 7 C's. Boring movie theater. Infiniplex. Oh, come on. Be real with me. Did you know the Infiniplex existed before this? No. Obviously not. Nobody wants to go here. Here's a message to both of those scrap heaps. There's only one true movie theater in town, and we have a long way to go before we reach it. Business Industries. I love how expansive this stupid building is. It's a dead end of cubicles, boardrooms, office kitchens, and the taste of crushed dreams. It's just fairly standard. Nothing else. Knobby Knuckles. This is a tough guy saloon from the episode Potato Puff. We've got a sign, and that's really about it. Besides the knuckle, I don't really get a Fight Club type of vibe. If we got to see the inside, maybe my opinion would change. But just like the cool biker squid outside, Knobby Knuckles isn't given much. There is potential. Bikini Bottom Bakery. Is there one building in your town that is always under construction or renovation? That's the Bikini Bottom Bakery. We first saw a fraction of it in Band Geeks, then this muffin design when Patrick developed a nose, then it became an oven in Mooncation, now it's back to the muffin design. They made the right choice though. The muffin clears them all. In keeping with the theme of renovations, the inside has also changed a ton. The first good look we get is during Overbooked. They've got a blue wall with various breads and pies. I like it. What I do not like is the next variation of it. Nothing says fresh buns quite like a metallic green, right? Once we turn back to the muffin design, we for some reason keep the nasty green interior. It's a small shop with one stand. I don't know. I wish the inside could match up to the outside. Lady Upturn's mansion. You know what they say, rich people lack taste. The mansion screams fancy and nothing else. There are paintings and furniture and windows scattered about, but it's so empty. The spacing is wrong. And I don't mean that to crap on the actual crew that designed this building. I think they did a wonderful job, but I would hate living here. I've never understood the appeal of a mansion. Gotta have your 12 bedrooms, right? Do you know the one video of the annoying YouTube vlogging family complaining about their mansion? The one that later got foreclosed? Like how awful it was to have to take stairs to get to the oversized workout room, or that the tile is wrong? That's the exact vibe I get from Upturn's mansion. We could have built something so much greater here. Something that truly benefits the town, like a school, a park, or even another museum. Bikini Bottom Airport. Man, that is one tiny terminal building, and just a basic road? They must get so little traffic. The best we see of this place is in Season 13's Plain to See for like a minute. I don't have anything to add. The end of the world. What a quaint little gift shop. Location memorable, design meh. Old factory. Ah, love that smell of big business. You likely recognize this as the factory where crabs harness the power of the jellyfish. I love how on the wiki, the employment section is listed as jellyfish population. Guys, I don't think they're here by choice. One thing I've also liked here is how genuinely expansive the place is. Like even with this frame, you can't see the wall. All the complex machinery blends in together. Great art direction. Shame it's for jellyfish extraction. Art Museum. One of the thousands of museums in Bikini Bottom. This one is dedicated to the history and culture of art. The exterior proportions scare me though. That building has a length of at most 25 feet. As per usual, the Bikini Bottom government fails to account for accessibility and has no ramp. The place is rich though. especially inside. Shiny flooring complements a beigey yellow wallpaper holding up the legendary artwork of the town. There are some good pieces, but it really improves once we hit the season 15 episode upward. Look at the team flex their muscles with all this stuff. The pillars, the Patrick art, it's all so good. Try not to eat the pineapple tape to the wall, you comedian. I guess it gets the job done, but it feels a little flat. No rooms dedicated to specific art, no rotating pieces or anything. Compared to the billions of other museums, this is one of the more lackluster ones. Shady Shoals Rest Home. I feel like such a bad person putting Shady Shoals this low. How can I do this? It's the home of our favorite underwater superheroes. If Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy wanted a good cover for the base, they sure got it. Shady Shoals is pretty lifeless. Take out the superhero duo. Does any of this stand out? Can you recall anything here? I cannot. Grandma Plankton, the real one, not the fake one, has a decent room. Shout out to that cat clock and portrait. Blackjack's house. Disappointment is the name of the game here. The outside is actually a phenomenal design. Who knew dropping a fairly standard suburban house into the world of Bikini Bottom would make it stand out? It even has a garage overhang. Sadly, all of my interest dies when we go inside. The wallpaper is peeling, the boards look rough, the furniture screams trashy. At least the basement is fairly well preserved, albeit empty. I probably should have expected this. Blackjack only just got out of prison. Actually, that's an interesting question. If I own a house and do 10 years in the joint, does the bank take it back? What happens to the utilities? For such an unnerving and intimidating design, it fails horrifically. This would be a 1 if the outside wasn't just so cool. Electronics Outhouse. Electronics Outhouse, at bare minimum, is at least trying. The giant stupid cord pillar thing, the satellites, the antenna, it's all incredibly compact. I think this is the kind of place you love going to as a kid, and then as an adult you realize it's nowhere near as amazing as you originally thought. Palace of Pranks. The Palace of Pranks is pretty underwhelming, sadly. You could swap this with any other typical grocer and you wouldn't notice. There's a weird piñata thing though. The walls are just a flat purplish. Frank gets a stand for his register though. Is that normal? I know in other cultures, like apparently the cashiers are allowed to sit down. Oh god, what's next? Are they gonna be allowed to join a union? Gym. I feel bad for the gym. This place feels like it was a few years late to the building lineup. If we could have just been shown more of it earlier in the series, I'd imagine this would be more popular. Everyone knows stuff like Bargain Mart or the diner. The gym just showed up late to the party. The place isn't exactly anything to write home about. It's exactly what you expect from a gym. Thankfully, it got reincarnated into a much better building that will hit later, if I don't forget it first. Biannual Jellyfish Convention Stadium. For all it lacks on the outside, this stadium makes up for it inside. There are so many set pieces, harpoons, nets, Dr. Manowar, and Jeffrey the Jellyfish. Even with all this stuff, the building itself is unremarkable. We can have all the best decorations in the world, but it doesn't change the fact it's one giant hall. And one without a floor. Seriously, it's just sand. Look at all those bare-finned fish. That's a prime recipe for blisters. As your only source for Bikini Bottom journalism, I did a feet check, and literally only SpongeBob, Kevin, and this cop have on shoes. Even Jeffrey doesn't have them. The establishing shot background art makes this place look so good. They did not have to go that hard for one take. I would bump this up a tier, but even the coolest jellyfishing decorations can't fix your boring foundation. Holy shrimp, actually decent buildings? I thought we'd never see it. These bad boys range from lackluster to passable. Maybe there's some good stuff, but overall I think these buildings are fine. If you add some extra furniture or paint, it'd probably jump to the next tier. Warehouse. You remember Industrial Park? It's a location that has shown up in more games than the show, I think. I'm convinced this warehouse is somewhere there. It's probably built by the same company that did the Jellyfish Hunter factory. It is a bit far out from anywhere, but I think it's worth it. They have a dumpster to the side, so a garbage truck has to drop by at some point. I want to know if that crane in the background is involved. Is it part of another industrial park building? What did the warehouse originally serve? The building just has that cool factor, even if it's pretty empty. What else can a warehouse be though? Grandma's tea house. I like the building, but I'm struggling to really care. Everything fits the criteria, but just... I don't know. Weenie Hut, Pizza Pie Hole, Taco Sombrero, Wet Noodle. Just like how I covered it in the food tier list, we're hitting all 4 of these restaurants at once. The interiors are all basically the same. They differ a bit in furniture, my favorite going to the Weenie Hut with all the pictures of weenies. Wait, this is the Weenie Hut. Like, Weenie Hut Juniors. How did I never pick up on this? Is this the original store? Out of the 4, Taco Sombrero and Wet Noodle have the best design. You can see the shell of the building underneath, but I like the decorations like the hat or the mustache. The Weenie Hut is just lazy. Taylor Tom's Tailor Shop. I don't care. That is a spool of copper wire and I won't be convinced otherwise. Taylor Tom's Tailor Shop doesn't tailor itself to my interest. Hook Museum. Alright, got your bingo card out? Check yet another space for a museum. This one is for fish hooks. I was going to make a joke about how weird it is to have a museum based on devices that kill fish. Then I remembered there are tons of weaponry museums, especially like the one with Jonathan Ferguson, Keeper of Firearms and Artillery at the Royal Armouries Museum in the UK, which houses a collection of thousands of iconic weapons from throughout history. I just wanted to say in my script notes, I have this segment, collab with Jonathan Ferguson for SpongeBob guns. Anyways, the Hook Museum has a biting design, that being a tackle box. There's only like a 5-second scene in here, but check out this wall. It's surprising the guy who was terrified of the hooks back in season 1 now goes to a museum for the place. Tryout's Kitchen. Maybe they could try out being a little bit better. Wrestling Center. It's the exact same as every other wrestling arena in the show, but the mask is neat. Doesn't save it at all though. Sponge Tom's house. I wish I was as cool as Sponge Tom Short Pants. Instead of a pineapple, Sponge Tom rocks a watermelon. Besides that, pretty similar place. The layout is flipped, with a few minor differences, like pet food bowls. The famed Bikini Bottom Opera House. Bikini Bottom is famous enough to host a grand opera house? I flat out do not believe that. You're telling me the prestigious Bikini Bottom Men's Choir is good enough for a concert hall like this? It's at least grand, but I can't tell you why it doesn't wow me. Maybe just because it's yet another box. Juice Bar. The Juice Bar exists. Rock Bottom Bus Station. I never realized this is a crashed submarine. Of course it'd be at rock bottom too. If you can see past the advanced darkness, the inside is boring. The ominous lighting is the real star of the show here. Dr. Calamari's physician. Talk about unique art direction. We only see the outside and lobby of this monochrome place, but I still enjoy it, especially the architecture. I'm being light on details here since there's a 5th tier entry that is a massive upgrade from here. Still, it's unique, if nothing else. Bascar Daytona 400. This one's for all you NASCAR fans watching. Hi Dad. This racetrack only shows up in one of the vacation specials. The one with the road song and the disgusting fruit fly. The Daytona 400 is only on screen for a few seconds, so memorability is pretty low. I'll give them credit though, I like the name and especially how the exterior is the rim of a tire. But we're running into a lot of problems. So I know this place is just a cutaway joke, but oh my Neptune, whoever designed this track sucks. First, look at that parking lot. Notice anything? There's no markings. Second, do you see those staircases leading inside? That's gotta be like 20, 30 plus feet, right? For what little actual impact the place has, the design is great, but the logistics are terrible. Also, we're at a parody of the Daytona 500. This is like the race for big crashes. You're telling me this crappy jellyfishing net material is gonna protect me against a flying boat? Krusty Krab Stadium. Well, I don't have to whine about parking this time, so that's nice. There are a few rooms and lobbies we see, but most of this building's episode is dedicated to the sewage network. Shout out to Charlton Hawkfish, my beloved. Jewelry and jewelry store. I'm combining both of these because I am lazy. One of them is a giant pearl and the other is a generic building. Krusty Towers. You know, I always forgot the top of this hotel still had the classic Krusty Krab. Is it the main kitchen? While I think the color scheme is a repugnant light purple, the weird ribcage supports add character. I'm gonna break some hearts with this, but Krusty Towers kind of sucks. Not the episode, the building. Like, yeah, the lobby is decent, but just, I don't know. Feels cheap, except for the cheese room. We love the cheese room. Nothing on the inside screams Krusty Krab. Where's the large glass walls? The underwater aesthetic? No tiny flags, no barrels, nothing. It feels wrong leaving Krusty Towers in this tier, but it doesn't wow me much. King Neptune's Castle. You are so lucky I'm only hitting the main series. If I could count the Patrick Star Show's version, it'd be near the top. My Neptune, it is beautiful. So the God King of Bikini Bottom has a problem. His lordship's castle has made 2 main-ish appearances. One is for the first movie. While we only see inside the throne room for like 5 minutes, it gives a pretty good impression. What's better though is this monumental scale. Look at this shot. Look at the way Neptune's castle towers over everything. The more I rewatch the movie, the more I start to overanalyze. I love how Plankton is balanced in the shot composition with the castle. The tiniest creature matches the size of the ocean's greatest king. I love visual storytelling! Speaking of high quality stories, how about an episode with none? I'm not gonna say his name, he does not deserve it. Neptune's castle suffers here from mid-era SpongeBob boringness. There's a golden toilet. That's luxurious. Inside the prince's room, we at least have some decorations. There's a degree. I wonder what he went to school for, and a calendar. What kind of calendar starts with Monday on the left and ends with Saturday and Sunday? Neptune's castle probably deserves higher than this ranking, but this depiction just sucks. There's not much cohesion. All the space and gold furniture in the world won't save shoddy interior decorating. I feel like I'm living in an art piece, not a castle. Granted, maybe that's what Neptune wanted. Books. Aw, yeah, baby, a library. Look at that door, the siding, I love it. The inside is the exact same as SpongeBob's Pineapple Library. I just like this building. Libraries are always cool, except the ones that have the Scarlet Letter. I hate you, Nathaniel Hawthorne. Patrick Starr's house. Patrick's house is wonderful. As a gimmick, this rock has had the most changes and alterations of anything on this list. Sometimes it is a chair and TV, other times a full-scale environment. My personal favorite comes from Patrick Smartpants. This room is such a mood. Rise and Shine also gives us an expansive house. There's power, lighting, and live cable. All one needs to survive. Pat's house reminds me of those guys really live in apartments like this and don't see any issue images. Don't diss my boy. He has everything he needs here. Still, would you enjoy sleeping on sand? Having no windows? I don't think I could do it. I'll probably get crucified for having the rock this low, but oh well. Bistro, not bistro. This totally isn't a new voiceover because I said bistro wrong. Definitely not. I love how cozy it is. It reminds me of one of the unused background arts for Tentacle Acres Coffee Shop. This color palette is on point. Kelp Shake. We all recognize the bottle-shaped design, but nobody ever talks about how Kelp Shake sells pastries. Besides that, it's a standard interior. Same old, same old. Tank. The Tank Company office is lifeless. That's to be expected for cubicles, but I enjoy the look. It's as generic as possible, but a good generic. It's high quality. Don't ask me how they make the tanks though. Rock Bottom Mall. Rock Bottom has a mall? Huh. It's so bright and clean. It's actually a bit terrifying. The rest of Rock Bottom is a creepy, empty zone. The mall is active. Getting a liminal vibe. Bikini Bottom Jail. Crime has never seemed so appealing before. This jail is an icon in the series. It's a fenced-in yard with a giant box, including a ball and chain. Glad we spent our resources on that. Also, since I know someone will make a comment about it, I'm not going to be including any parts only featured in Doing Time. That episode was a hallucination by Puff Mama, so we don't know if any building sections were real. We do have some typical cells alongside maximum security. The worst of the worst lie in here, with some of them being patrons of the Salty Spittoon. Later on in the series, Jailbreak gives us a closer look. We see general cells, a visitation area, the cafeteria, and the courtyard. I think the jail's design is really good, but at the same time, how do I give a fair rating to this place? It's designed to be empty and lacking. The Crunchy Crab. Ugh. The slightest differences deal the most damage. The walls are weird. The kitchen is reversed. On its own, the Krusty Krab is good, but it's so weird. This isn't right. You're going against nature. Super Weenie Hut Juniors. I wish Super Weenie Hut Juniors was better. The outside is perfect, but the interior feels like a Sims house. Okay, I have currently 14 minutes and 10 seconds until my pizza gets out of the oven, so we've got to move fast. Ice cream! So in my last ranking video, I made a few offhand comments. Some people called that rage bait. It is not, and most of all, my comment on mint ice cream is certainly not. It is a disgusting stain on the world. Have you ever considered that your opinion might be objectively wrong? The ice cream store in SpongeBob has two variants. The first is seen during Hall Monitor. It's a tiny place, but I like the colors. The second is, I don't want to say better, but definitely louder. Frankly, I can't tell if this place is real. We can't really trust Patrick's view of things. For all we know, this could be a dumpster. It's creative, yes, but it's just a bit too much. Also, there is no way you are walking out of here without a stain or something. Those chocolate rivers are gonna overflow, mark my words. Oh, and if you want to include it, I guess we also have the place from the movie. You gotta wonder where all those dead fish came from, because the outskirts of the ocean are incredibly barren. How did she find so many people to kill out in the middle of nowhere? Roller rink. I'm setting aside some personal history I have with roller skating to give you an analysis. Just remember to wear your helmet. I speak from experience. The roller rink is cool, but my favorite element has to be the ceiling. You'd think more of Bikini Bottom would utilize sky flowers in their designs, but I guess not. The building itself being a soul skate is sick, but also by this point of the script, I've seen hundreds of everyday objects reused as buildings. It's starting to lose the wow factor. Poseidon Elementary School. Let's convert a huge shipwreck into a school for kids. I'm sure there's no danger in that at all. Mr. Krabs and Plankton went here as kids, and you can tell this place is old. Who doesn't love wobbly furniture and chalkboards? At least in modern day, it's gotten better with a really nice playground. No jungle gym though. That's a hard pass from me. The Philharmonic Concert Hall. Ah, Neptune. What's that one stupid art exhibit in Chicago? I don't know or care what it's called, but it's the one that people nicknamed The Bean, and the creator hated that name. Wait, this is the black paint guy! Anish Kapoor! The artist responsible got what was thought to be the world's blackest black pigment licensed only to him because he's a baby and sharing is too difficult. Someone else developed the world's pinkest pink and allowed everyone except Kapoor to use it, eventually ending up with Kapoor flipping off a camera with the paint. You're so terrifying, bro. I know I haven't talked about the SpongeBob building at all yet, but I would heavily encourage you to check out Stuart Simple, the guy responsible for the pink paint. I had a lot of fun reading interviews with him and researching topics he references. For instance, did you know here in the USA, there was a flat ban on blood donated by gay and bi men? From 1985 until 2015, if you were a man and had some fun under the sheets with another man, you were not allowed to donate blood. None at all. Full stop. Even in 2015, if you wanted to donate, you had to stay celibate for a whole year. Thankfully, with some recent policy changes alongside better screening, it's switched to individual assessment, meaning it's much easier to donate. All of this simply from this stupid looking SpongeBob building. Oh yeah, I still have to cover that. It's fine. Little Flipper Music Academy. The accordion design is great, and inside it is just a typical kid's school. Some posters, stickers, calendars, the usual. This one poster of the music note speaking is fantastic though. Shout out to that piano too. It's gorgeous. The Cuddly Crab. Say what you will about crabs, but he goes all out for Pride Month. Technically Pearl is in charge, and she transforms that old shabby crab into a teen hangout. Plushies, beanbag chairs, blue carpet, cupcake chairs. Okay, the cupcake chairs are pretty sweet, won't lie. Krabs' office got hit as well, and wow. Did we paint the wood to a lighter color scheme? Not a fan, but I respect the dedication. Bikini Bottom Outskirts Mega Mall. This monster only shows up for a cutaway joke, so we don't see too much. Outside, I'm pretty sure this is what an urban dystopia looks like. Take note of the various brands. So I get Spawn & Co., like a spawn of fish, but what is Salmondale's? Inside, it's actually a semi-detailed mall. Each of the shops are different, and we get a walkway and a commons area on the bottom floor. The High Tide Stadium. I find the High Tide Stadium extremely funny. What episodes have featured this place? Oh, just Smooth Jazz at Bikini Bottom and Are You Happy Now? Two of the most hated episodes of the entire series. And Krusty Concessionaires. Dude, nobody talks about this episode, and it's a shame because it is genuinely phenomenal. Unironically, one of my favorites. The High Tide Stadium is pretty much any stadium seen thus far in the video. What separates it from the others is the backstage area we see. I love the hallways, especially the gag involving SpongeBob voice actors. It's nothing crazy like the rest, but if there is one singular takeaway from this entire video, it is to go watch that episode. The song at the end is genuinely great. Weenie Hut General. Imagine Weenie Hut Juniors. Now is a hospital. Does this imply there's a super Weenie Hut General? Nobody's asking the important questions, like why is a hot dog business involved in healthcare? Bikini Bottom University. Since we first see this building managed by Sandy and Karen, it's my headcanon Bikini Bottom had no higher level education before this. I mean, they did, but can you really count the prestigious music college? This is pretty much just an upgraded version of that. Same boring classrooms, this time with an exterior, a kitchen classroom, and a hallway. Bonus points for Sandy offering free tuition for any student. Also, I'm going to take this entry to reference Bikini State University, which appeared in the Plankton movie. I still have yet to see it and don't want to spoil myself, so that's all of BSU that I'll talk about in this video. Fast Mansion. God, this episode is such a fever dream. Some days I still don't truly believe Tony Fast Jr. is a real character in the show. He and Tony Fast Sr. are references to Dale Earnhardt and his son, two very popular drivers in NASCAR. Hi again, father. Fast Sr.'s mansion is shown hidden behind gates. Inside is a racist dream. That joke sucks, but I'm keeping it in the script. I feel like if I was a big car guy, I'd like this place way more. The mansion does get points for having the road rug. That's a fantastic thing to have. You get to see awards and vintage boats, but I'm just not really captured by this all. Boat parts and garage. I absolutely love the color choice for these two. It works so well with the show's usual palette. It's a small mechanic shop. It's also one of the cleanest I've seen. Why do they have a wooden boat frame on a lift back there? We barely get to see this place in the 2 episodes it shows up in, so not much else to say. Food Con. The Food Con building is trying. It's yet another competition-based building, but the different food stands give it character, like Coral Kebab or Jelly Jam Farms. By this point in writing, I've already made what feels like 20 plus entries on stadiums, so Food Con really isn't doing anything amazing to stand out. Not bad by any means, but it just doesn't have anything going for it. Honeymoon Hotel. I love the octopus design. I also love the color palette. Warm oranges and dark purples go hand in hand. I gotta ask though, what's the point of these arches on the ceiling? Like, the pillars I understand, but what do these things serve? Is it purely decoration? The Bikini Bottom Rec Center. This one's got some renovations. The first version was a multi-purpose building. The arches above the door in this shot give a nice little contrast. Thankfully, this place got a huge upgrade. We get to see a version of this place kitted out for a dance class with the one and only Susie Groove. I'm not calling her the Gyatfish. Check out these windows, that polished wooden floor, even the lighting. Electronics. Hey, it's me editing the video again. I think I went into a fugue state when I wrote this entry because I have no idea what it is. I can't even find images of a building just called electronics. My script says it looks like a classic radio, but I have no clue. Sunglasses. The most average building in town. This is the halfway point of the whole list. Sunglasses follows the Bikini Bottom structure perfectly. One notable feature, and that's it. Everything is fine. The sunglasses are fine. The colors are fine. The location is fine. Sunglasses does nothing terrible and nothing great. From here on, this is a good standard of comparison. Bottomite houses. The metal debris homes are an icon in SpongeBob. I can't make a video on SpongeBob buildings and not include these. Sure, it isn't one specific building, but I think you'll understand. Bikini Bottom does feature different types, most notably how the downtown buildings come with additional floors. I hope you like washed out blues, greens, reds, and more, cause that's all you're getting down here. Remember how one entry ago with sunglasses and how I said it is the most average building of them all? The bottomite houses are the same. These are a great baseline to compare other residential buildings with. If you were clicking onto this video, you already know what this is. That's my excuse for not spending 10 minutes on this entry. Rice barn. Pretty standard place, but the seating is good. Dry cleaner. Definitely one of the best signs we've seen so far. Inside is just a dry cleaner, so this really depends on the outside. That's all I got. My commentary here is as dry as the laundry inside. Wait, why do they need a dry cleaner? They're underwater! The First Nautical Bank. The First Nautical Bank is carried by being the first bank we see in the series. The barrel design is neat, but as more episodes have come out, the creativity just flows better. I mean, I like the First Nautical Bank, but I don't think it's anyone's favorite. Coffee bowl. Another cafe in town. Competition must be fierce. This one's all about coffee. Shocker. Besides, of course, the building, this one gets some points for the corner location. It doesn't really have much, but I like the atmosphere. Flower shop. What a cute little store. Even just rounding out some of the corners makes the flower shop that much nicer. Maybe they should invest in some stronger glass though. Music. Posters, posters, posters. That's the name of the game here. This tuberific store shows up in Squidness Protection. I don't know if that's actually a tuba, but I like my pun, so I'm keeping it. That sign is gorgeous. I'm a big fan of the contrast here. Bright posters, dark walls. Bright instruments, low lighting. Special shout out goes to the guitar in this display case down here. The shop itself is a bit on the small side. I'm assuming the rest of the floor plan is for storage. Hypnotherapy. You are so lucky I don't know how to hypnotize you through a video yet. The outside is enchanting. So many colors, beads, and feathers. I love it. Note the sign saying this place was featured on Good Morning Bikini Bottom. How haven't we got an episode set during a news broadcast? This sounds like prime SpongeBob material. Even though it isn't anywhere near as colorful, I do think the inside has a rustic charm to it. The actual therapy room is fine, it's just lacking a bit. I do like the 3 different degrees the doctor has, gotta hand it to him. Bikini Bottom Men's Choir Studio. For this entry, I'll be singing every single word. I'm just messing with you. For being in such a pathetic episode, this choir studio packs in a ton of detail. We've got banners, paintings, stained glass, and a thatch roof. Tell me this isn't a repurposed church. Actually, I don't think we've seen a church or place of worship anywhere in town. Of course, that's very likely due to some kids show regulation, but in universe, I find that interesting. You would think Neptune, as a king in the show, would mandate some kind of royalty-based religion. There's all sorts of stories to use. I mean, we have the exiled son Triton. That'd be perfect scripture. Didn't mean to get sidelined with some underwater zealotry, but I just like how pretty the Bikini Bottom Men's Choir building is. Ice rink. I think out of all the buildings in this video, the ice rink is the one with the largest gap in time for revisiting. We originally saw the inside during Season 2's Shanghai, and it took a casual 23 years to come back, this time in Season 15. God, I'm old. Inside is an ice rink. Outside is half a barrel, I want to say? The sign is cold. Pun intended. Same with that giant ice skate. Ye old Krusty Krab. Great castle. Plus, it benefits from the episode having a classic fairy tale texture on everything. What are we at? Casual 21 minutes. Yippee, I love recording voiceover. Do you remember when the original incidental video was like 50 minutes? God, I miss those days. Hats. I'm really not sure what it is with SpongeBob buildings and being explosives, but I'm all for it. We never see inside, but I love the hatch design for the door alongside the giant window. I want to glaze this place more, but I have literally nothing else to say. Groovy Groupers. Dude, I don't know what they're putting in the ice cream, but I want more of it. Groovy's has that iconic 70s font and a radical new look. Take note of the peace symbols scattered throughout. Even the piano road got replaced with flowers. Perfect place to dodge a draft or two. Krusty Krab Museum. You know, out of all the museums in this video, I understand this one. The Krabby Patty is the ultimate food. A museum isn't out of question. The outside is the usual Krusty Krab, but it is enclosed by the Krusty Factory I covered earlier. Something about those factory walls towering over the museum is so ominous. The inside is also the usual Krusty Krab, but with way more merchandise. Shout out to the Patrick Microwave. Give me this product, Nickelodeon. Can't forget about the animatronics either. Hopefully they don't get quirky at night. Magic Shop. Out of all the generic trunk type buildings of this video, the Magic Shop is one of the best. Is that due to being one of the earliest types? Probably, yeah. I completely forgot we visited this place in Season 7's You Don't Know Sponge. I love the gadgets and that carpet, and hey, it's Frank from the House of Pranks. Good to know he's still in business. Mattress. Yes! Yeah! 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 Thank Neptune we have a mattress store in town. They just sell mattresses. Mattress discount. Sure, 2 mattress stores in town. Why not? It only shows up in Ghost Host. They at least have parking. The inside is just a mattress store, but check out Tom. Why does he have a mustache? Mattresses and then some! Why are there 3 mattress stores in Bikini Bottom? Mattresses and then some is by far the best though. Dude, that's the shape of a mall. Out of the 3, you very likely recognize this place. Look at this shot. I'd kill just to be able to run around here. Imagine how easy it'd be to hide here overnight. Special note goes to the trivia section on the wiki. This is one of the 2 mattress stores in Bikini Bottom. The other is Mattress Discount. Yeah, I do my own research, I don't just read the Wikipedia articles, guys. The other is, Patrick falsely thinks there are a total of 10 mattresses in the store. Thanks, SpongeBob Wiki. The Krusty Slammer. Did we really need barbed wire on the sign? The Krusty Slammer is the same as the crab, but on the inside we have a few new guests. Check out this dude, relaxing and watching some Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. I'm pretty sure that's specifically from Mermaid Man 1. Oh hey, it's the Tattletale Strangler! Sure, this may be a prison, but it's kinda cozy. Well, it was, before crabs took everything back. Hi, it's me. This is take number 3 for this segment. The first take had so little energy it sounded like I was depressed, and the second time I didn't plug the microphone all the way in, so it sounded like this. Alright, I'm doing a retake because my voiceover sounded so unenergetic it was genuinely kind of sad. Big Shot Records. I hate my life. I hate your life too, dude. That quote is all I can think about for Big Shot Records. The exterior design is really nice. I love the circular beams and especially the windows. From the tiny bits we see inside, the manager's office is probably the top floor, which means the recording room is likely the second or third one. Also, check out the recording studio. Is that Weezer? I know this isn't a sequel to the incidental tier list video, but can I just gush about the band? The bass player is definitely a guy named Kenny, our vocalist hates his life, the drummer is sick, and the keyboardist has an amazing shirt. Please normalize floral outfits in Bikini Bottom, please. Big Shot Records is doing the best with what little room it was given. Sure, it might not match up in potential to the other buildings in this floor, but proportionally, it's done a great job. Too bad the band's dead. King Plankton's Castle. While I love the throne room, this castle's strongest point is the paintings. The more I write this script, the more I realize how much detail is put into these unnecessary designs. Look at all these royal portraits. Someone took the time and care to draw these. My personal favorite is this angry one, Old Man Walker's house. Who doesn't love Old Man Walker? His house manages to stand out from the other residential buildings of the show. What exactly is it? There's a valve, so some kind of water heater? She's seen better days. Inside is like the most old person home I can think of. I mean that as a compliment. I want to learn more about all the knickknacks and history here. Don't forget about the appearance from As Seen on TV, Patchy the Pirate's house. Be real with me, who hasn't wanted to go here during the Christmas special? It's decorated with so much love and so many ornaments. I know Patchy's whole gimmick is being a cheap kid show host, but man loves his SpongeBob. He goes all out in decorating. I wonder how much fun the crew had with this. I don't think any future variations of Patchy's house matches up. I will admit, I always forget about a good chunk of the live action scenes from The Sponge Who Could Fly. Don't forget about the SpongeBob room. Fun fact, did you know Patchy didn't first appear in Christmas Who? Yeah, he was in a DVD special for the first season. The wiki has an entire page for Patchy appearances, and dude, some of these are weird.
Ahoy, sponge lovers! I'm Patchy the Pirate, and welcome to the Bikini Bottoms Up Tour. Using the arrows and the enter button on your DVD remote, you can find out more about my favorite place on earth, Bikini Bottom. Well, let's get going. What do you mean you can't find the remote? Look in the cushions. The other cushion. I can wait. Ah, that there is SpongeBob's house. I think his house kind of suits his personality. Sugary, sweet, and very good smelling. Arr, I wish I could live in a pineapple. I lived in a zucchini once for a couple of weeks, didn't work. That there's the domicile of Squidward tentacles. When you look at Squidward, you'll notice that he's all head, and so's his house, just like him. Brooding, mean, crabby. The difference is that with Squidward's real head, nobody's home. Why does Sandy wear that diving suit all the time, you ask? Well, Sandy is a mammal who lives underwater. So, if she didn't wear that suit, the intense undersea pressure would crush her like an egg!
Patchy, you're scaring me! The Howlin' Marlin. The cool factor overrides any other element here. The building is simple, compact, and lacking anything besides the sign at the top. We do see a tiny bit of the inside, and I love how grainy everything is. The tables are rope holders? I don't know the name. You know what I'm talking about. The things on docks and harbors where they tie the rope to a boat. This place is baby's first salty spittoon, and I respect that. Okay, done! I hope I get to re-record this for a 4th time. That'd be awesome. I hope my audio sounds terrible again. I hope it sounds like I'm a robot. I love audio engineering! Whoopee! Avocondo Acres. What a scenic area. Avocondo Acres is a retirement community in town. The one we are focusing on is the home specific to Harold and Margaret Squarepants. We've only seen 2 rooms, a kitchen and living room. Despite its rather lacking square footage or room variety, I think Avocondo Acres makes up for it in visuals. We so rarely get to see beautiful green grass near buildings. Often it's saved for jellyfish fields. I like it. The avocado really benefits from that suburban look, complete with a fenced-in backyard. But there's really not much left to glaze. No garage or parking space at all. I hope whatever architect drew up this place got fired. That sign has a typo. Maybe my opinion on Avocondo Acres will change when I become old, but right now it's perfectly serviceable. Poseidon Coliseum. What a classic. There's not much I have to say on this food arena. It's just good. Bikini Bottom High School and Gym. I'm merging these 2 entries together. Isn't it a bit weird to have the gym as a separate building? It's nearly as big as the actual high school. Speaking of, the establishing shot from Barnacle Face is really unique. It's rare to see a more urban Bikini Bottom with buildings close by. I like the red and yellow contrast, and especially that tree outside. Also, check out this clip.
Hello!
What the shrimp? My man didn't even do anything! I feel so bad for this guy. We don't ever end up seeing any classrooms, just generic hallways with lockers. The gym is just a gym. Wood floor, some basketball goals, your staple high school gymnasium stuff. Since this is my video, I also get to go on a tangent. As a kid, I always wondered how fun it would be to get to explore buildings during their off hours. Schools were at the top of that list. Something about getting to run through a ton of empty hallways with lights off sounded so cool to me. It's odd, creepy, and intriguing. I hope I've talked long enough to use the high school footage I have from Lost Judgment.
Really, guys?
I'm also writing this before we're supposed to get an episode in season 16 about the high school. I hope it's good.
And stay down.
Jack Plankton's Chum Farm. Wait, I thought Jack was supposed to be poor. That's why he gets the golden goose and stuff. You know this fairy tale episode is fiction. No poor person could afford this place. It's spacious, full of shelves, and even comes with a fireplace. Also, what the shrimp is this counter thing? Why is it partially a ramp? I'm jealous of Jack Plankton. This supposedly destitute shack is actually just rustic. It even comes with some barn doors. The outside definitely could use a wash though. Bikini Realty. This is where that one real estate fish talked to Squidward during opposite day. We actually have some unused background art of the place. It makes me sad it was cut, because just look at that. Of course a real estate place has a gorgeous building. I imagine on a windy day that bell would be awful though. Bikini Travel Agency. Oh. Okay. Well, it looks like the housing bubble for Bikini Bottom popped too. Seems like the place was sold to a travel agency. I'm gonna be honest here, this is such a soulless interior. I know Bikini Realty wasn't winning any interior decoration awards, but come on, man. What is this flooring? What are these elementary school chairs? What a corporate husk. Bikini Bottom Post Office. This is what I like to see. The box flaps can act as a slanted roof. That's such a great design. My one question about this place regards the mail on the top. That seems really impractical. How are you supposed to clean it? I mean, to be fair, there's probably not enough in the federal budget for it. BB Nails. Even though the scene that takes place here is disgusting, BB Nails is pretty neat. Obviously, that logo is fantastic and really stands out. Ditto for the realistic human hand. Maybe not for the right reasons. It may just be a box, but the addition of some simple decor like bushes really helps here. Inside, it's a manicure store. You can definitely tell the budget was spent on the exterior, because the inside is nothing crazy. It's small and compact, but it makes the place a bit cozy. I don't go to any nail manicure places, so maybe my credentials on this entry are weak. Who cares? Squilliam Fancy Son's house. Lady Upturn, you watching? I hope so, because this is how you do extravagance. It's not correct to call this a house. It's a tower. Golden arches and marble pillars hold up the intricate roofing. Squilliam has seemingly endless self-portraits with a bust or two as well. I'm personally fond of the cowboy hat one. And the roof, oh man, like dude, how much did he have to pay for this? He's even commissioned a statue with a built-in nose phone. How is this not a real art exhibit yet? That has to be a thing, interactable art. Where's my Andy Warhol soup can holder? With how much I've glazed Squilliam, you might be wondering why this is only a 3, not a 4 or 5. Squilliam's tower is a tourist attraction. Does he really live like this? Sure, the hot tub is nice, but every single time? What good does this stupid doorknob serve besides bragging rights? It's pristine, but lacks any emotion. I think it's an upgrade from Lady Upturn's pile of jeweled garbage, but barely. Toy barrel. I feel like out of every building we'll cover today, the toy barrel has the best proportions. I could imagine all these shelves and stuff fitting inside. The walls are wooden, the ceiling matches the barrel style, yada yada. The toy barrel is one of those buildings you'd love to stay in overnight as a kid. Continuing on from my high school tangent, back when I was a kid, around the 50s, I binged so many overnight in a building videos. Stuff like hiding in a Walmart or something. Good times. I'm gonna be honest, most of my memories of the toy barrel are associated with an old Flash game. Wonder what happened to it. Wait a minute! While I was looking for images, I came across this screen for an online game, Pool Party Pooper. Shout out to the SpongeBob Flash Games archives, that's where the footage you are seeing comes from. It's somewhat broken, but I don't care. Blue SquarePants' house. Props to Blue. Grass makes any building in this list stand out. This place just feels classic. You've probably been to a family member's house exactly like this. Maybe you hung out in their garage, complete with all the posters and tools everywhere. Also, he's a retired police captain. I somehow forgot about that. His house may lack an overall wow factor, but come on, it's cozy and you know it. The Adult Learning Center. Talk about making the most of what you got. Somehow, a barrage of barrels, drums, and pipes makes a surprisingly decent building. My only question is, what's the point of the pink oil drum? The main section is a general classroom, but what classes would need an extra building? Is it just storage? We'll probably never know, but at least there's a bike rack. You already know the inside. We've only seen the Squidward art makeover of this place, but it's pretty decent. Bikini Bottom Convention Hall. Now this is what I'm talking about. I'll be up front here. The Bikini Bottom Conventional Hall wants to be a top tier so badly. That design is amazing. It's a bomb. This building is an explosive. I don't think it's a nuclear bomb, but I want it to be so badly. The utter balls it takes to make your town's convention hall inside of a possibly still armed explosive is impressive. It's just a shame that the inside is lackluster. This is such a mixed entry. I want to give a 4 or 5 to this, but the interior just doesn't do anything for me. Also, shout out to the place during 2 thumbs down when it becomes ThumbCon. Weenie Hut Juniors, the classic staple of the show. I'll bite the embarrassing bullet. I'd be a regular here. Eventually the place gets redecorated, and man, what a lot of pink. At least we kept the mirror. Also, I'm not including Weenie Hut Seniors because it's an entire island, not a building. Library, the last of the, I believe, 3 libraries in this video. The outside is a giant bookshelf, and holy shrimp, the scale. This place is huge. That's at least twice the size of an average home in town. For all the faults I give the Bikini Bottom government in this video, library funding is not one of them. Literally every library I have been in has had that exact design, that exact color, that exact vibe. We only see that floor though, because the rest of the episode stuck in an elevator has Squidward. Take your guess. Also, I've never found a good conversation to insert this into, but I once had an English teacher give us advice on buying books for class. They told us to buy our own copies so we can write notes on the pages while we read. On the physical paper, directly next to the novel's text. No! You are evil if you do this. I am not willing to compromise on this discussion. I understand sticky noting a book, but just penciling in quotes or scenes that stand out? No! That's disgusting. That's blasphemy. How do you sleep at night knowing you've carved scars into a good book? Grab it, Mart. The moment I read this, I fully expected a crappy grocery store. What I was not expecting was to like it. It's weird, but simplistic. I adore the location. Hidden behind a bunch of much taller buildings, illuminated only by some lamps outside. Inside is a cramped store, but I just like it. I can't even really tell you why. The no minors sign is really funny too. Give me some more tiny places like this. It's cozy. The Museum of Bikini Bottom History. I think my card is starting to run out of space. There is no shot a museum fits in this anchor. Inside is a vast array of histories. Pirates, fossils, cowboy stuff, one of the first boatmobiles, and more. Oh hey! They have an elevator! That's topical. Special shout out goes to the one exhibit with designs based on Stephen Hillenburg's models in the Pitch Bible. That's really sweet. Much like some of the other entries heard way earlier, this building has an upgrade. As colorful as this place is, I think there's just better museums. Also, don't forget the gift shop. Finally, some great buildings. These are cozy, comfy, fun, or some other cool descriptor. Larry's Gym! Can I get a hoorah for Larry's Gym? You didn't do the hoorah. Larry's Gym is an icon of post-mid SpongeBob. I'm not really sure what could be added to make the gym better. We have all the workout equipment alongside locker rooms and more. Nobody's gonna complain about Larry's Gym. It's the best in town for a reason. Mrs. Tentacle's house. Somehow we have never been inside here. If we just had exteriors to compare, she beats out Squidward's house every time, no contest. The hair curls are great, but I love the slight vegetation out front. Adds a small but noticeable hit of contrast. And congrats, Mrs. Tentacles. You don't have any annoying neighbors to worry about. Ripped Pants Inc. This is, unless my research is wrong, which it often is, the most recent building in the show. Zipping in from Season 16's timeline twist-up, Ripped Pants Inc. takes place in an alternate timeline. Patrick's father, no, the other one, ends up taking SpongeBob's place during Ripped Pants. Long story short, Cecil Star sets up his own business. Give him credit? I do like the design. The windows being in the crack is great. Inside is a snazzy office room, with a lot of ripped trousers. The building is nice, but I cannot get over how great the winter tint is to everything. It's so cold. Normalize Snowy Bikini Bottom, please. I want more of it. Plugs and such. That's cute. We don't pop in here at all, but I have to wonder if this is a power substation for the town. If only I had a comically oversized fork. Snailfail's house. Welcome to the perks of being a celebrity. Home of Snailfail, this shell is luxurious. Check out that doorway and the pillars nearby. Also, are we not going to ask why the mailbox is so far out from the house? I thought the whole appeal of being filthy rich was not having to work for things anymore. Bikini Bottom Zoo. As much as I want to gush about the animals here, this is really just about Oyster Stadium. Too bad I'm doing that anyways. Look at these designs by Adam Polowian. Look at the tiger shark, the sea lion, this amazing underwater giraffe. God, I would kill for an official Art of SpongeBob book. We know Oyster Stadium best as the place where the peanut incident occurred. It also gets repurposed for other events, like the Great Snail Race or for a culinary competition. The entrance is also great. Nobody hates Oyster Stadium, maybe except Clamu and Gary. Vet. The vet's office has personality. It helps that it isn't being run by a fake. Looking at you, Purple Dr. Fish, or you, Dr. Gilliam. All I'm saying is we haven't been shown their medical degrees. The office is a fairly standard modern era location, nice details and colors. The place did change a bit from Pineapple Invasion to, say, I'm not allowed to say it, I learned my mistake from the Plankton Plan video. To understand this nuanced joke, you need to watch all 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 45 seconds of it. Bikini Bottom Hospital. I think it'd be easier to reference all the episodes the hospital doesn't show up in. It's a collection of boxes, generic buildings, and a life preserver. We've also seen the inside probably like 10,000 times. Most commonly, we see a patient room with yellow walls hidden behind a curtain. It's pretty standard, but that doesn't hold it back. I don't really know how you can make an operating theater look visually appealing. Safety and cleanliness comes first. But look at this sunset and tell me this building doesn't look gorgeous. I've said it before in this video and I'll keep spamming it till the day I die. The background art of this show is perfect. Also, are floor drains in operating rooms common? The Jelly Spotters Clubhouse. Whoa. Where did the Jelly Spotters get this kind of cash? Is it a grant from Bikini Bottom? The jellyfish fountain sits in the courtyard, surrounded by a circle of hedges and cut grass. The various jellyfish insignias throughout the building are great, and we have giant net statues. The main room doesn't live up to the outside. I know that's how throne rooms are supposed to be, big and grand and amazing and empty and whatever. I don't like it. Too pretentious. If we only had the outside view, this would be top tier. Dance. Dance is simple. It knows what it wants to be and how to achieve that. It doesn't need fancy windows or rich furniture. Lights, lights, and more lights are all we need. Look at Tom over here. Even he's having a good time. Fun arcade. Who doesn't love the bright lights, cheap games, and the sound of dropping coins? It's really interesting because the fun arcade first shows up in the episode The Scent of Money. That episode deserves to have its teeth broken in with a steel-toed boot. The arcade is a bit cheap, as they all are, but it does enough to make it unique. They have a ton of machines and a surprisingly cool carpet that I'd buy. Alright, here we are, it's me, 45 minutes later. I don't know if you've been able to tell, but the audio engineering in this video sucks balls, and I can't get it to work properly no matter what I do, so if you hear a ringing in the background, I'm sorry. I've done everything I could to try to fix it. I have shut off like everything electrical here, and it keeps going. Bikini Bottom Dentist's office. Ugh. You're lucky that I have concrete criteria for tiers, dentist office. If I could freely rank the buildings with unlimited bias, you would be straight at the bottom. For all my dentists and otherwise watching, your profession is a very important one. Forgive me for any attacks I might make during this entry. It's not personal, I promise. The first thing you'll notice about the dentist is that logo. Great first impression. Inside, it's a typical dental place. We actually see a cutaway of it during Midlife Crustacean, and oh boy, that is horrifying. Just a simple light. We have some rustic hooks. Thanks for wearing a mask, Doc. Way after that episode, we see the new and improved place. Gotta give them credit, that is an incredibly accurate lobby. The plants, the signs, the posters, the chairs, everything. The room has changed to a singular area. We also have some tech upgrades, notably an x-ray machine. The place is really accurate. I don't like it. Those two are not mutually exclusive. Ow! Wow! I'm actually getting mad. Straight up, I'm actually getting mad. Like, I'm about to be madder than the entire Lucy segment that I'm gonna put in the Big Time Rush script. God, ow! The Fast Food Coliseum. From the entire ocean comes a competition of skill, determination, and hairnets. As a kid, I never noticed it, but now I can so easily see the CG here. I spent way too long trying to translate this entrance sign as Ingeso before I realized that's an R, not an A. Translated through Wormy's favorite language, it reads entrance. I love the events that take place here, but nothing beats bun wrestling. Since it's dark in here, I have to wonder if the fry cook games last even through nighttime. We have a fry cook museum and a fast food coliseum in the series. Fry cooking is a huge sport here, yet the only really successful fast food joint is the Krusty Krab. Why host it here? Are there lucrative tax benefits, or is the Krusty Krab powerful enough to warrant this being in Bikini Bottom? I don't know, but I do know I would kill to see a modern episode rendition of this place. Keep the crappy 2000 CGI though. It's essential. Clock World. Clock World is a tiny building, but is filled to the brim with detail. So many various timepieces, from lighthouses to bedside ones, and even one reminiscent of the snail clock from Procrastination. I adore the outside design with that Swedish look, I think? Maybe the Netherlands? I don't know, whichever one has those gorgeous windmills. I know the whole thing is run by a con man, but I still love it. I think the one downside is actually all of the clocks. You have to sync them all. Otherwise, it's so much ticking. Bikini Bottom Police Department. Obviously, there's a description of the building, but the wiki has separate pages for the Bikini Bottom SWAT teams and hazmat units. There's sections for vehicles, units, teams and divisions, and weapons/gear. There's an entire article for the Highway Speed Patrol unit. Anyways, you should be familiar with this place. While it is another generic box, I think the color scheme helps it a bit. For most of the series, we've only seen the generic cells. In some later episodes, we see the officer's side, and man, it is fun. There's an interrogation room and an observation room, complete with a donut poster. I love the evidence room. There's a lot to wonder about. How do some snail shells connect to a case? The parking garage also has no right to be that cool. Glove World Theater. I know, I really wanted to include Glove World, but I just couldn't find that many standalone buildings. Yeah, there are generic ones, but I wouldn't have anything to talk about. Rides and roller coasters, sadly, are not buildings. Wait, hold on. Oh yeah, saving this one for later. The theater spent all of the budget on the outside, with glove pillars and even a classic film camera. The glove look is everywhere. The walls have them, the carpet has them, even the box seats are held up by gloves. Betsy Krabs' house. The third most iconic anchor in the show. First is her son's house, second is the generic one in Bikini Bottom. Mama Krabs has this on point. It's a bright pink, adorned with some contrasting yellow collars? What do we call these? Skirts? I don't know, and we have more important things to cover. Tell me Mr. Krabs' childhood room isn't peak. The race car bed even comes with a shelf in the style of a spoiler. The lamp is an anchor. Isn't that cool? On the opposite side of the house lies Mama Krabs' bedroom. We don't get a great look at it during the infamous panty raid from Midlife Crustacean, but the rest has some fine wallpaper. It's really just Mr. Krabs' room and the exterior carrying this entry. One of the few actual downsides is the outside pathway, or what's left of it. What the shrimp am I looking at? No wonder Mama Krabs slams her foot against a rock. It's all cobblestone, and right next to the road too. Anyone else ever trip and skin their feet on asphalt? It ain't fun, let me tell ya. Pet store. Talk about a glow-up holy fish paste. We went from an ugly purple box vomit to a sleek, modern pet store. Originally during Gary in Love, this store was a sad gray. It got terrorized and this wimp couldn't even defend his store from snails. If only you had some big meaty claws to defend yourself, right? Also, this store has variations around the world, including number 1, a Viking setup, number 2, an igloo, number 3, literally just Russia, which I would pay to see an episode set in, and number 4. Hey, is that Twitch? From SpongeBob versus the big one? What are you doing here? How did you get back? Most importantly, where's Awesome Eddie? The 5 people that watched my video on that episode are freaking out right now. Anyways, the interior gets a redesign and it surprisingly is solid. We've got worm food, we've got a whole wall of toys. If you own a snail and you haven't bought them a hot dog chew toy, what are you doing with your life? When we finally arrive at the pet carrier design, the inside actually drops down. We've degraded in quality. It's just not the same. Give me a hybrid of the former inside with the pet carrier shell and you would have a winner. The Chum Bucket. The Chum Bucket is weird. Yes, it is iconic, it has a great design and a ton of space, but it is so cold. I can just feel the icy metal through this place, the sounds of footsteps on grates and general ambience from the massive air ducts. We all know the food here sucks, but the building itself is really good. I think the Chum Bucket gets all the points just from its design. I don't want to live or eat here, especially with those tables and stools. Some of the other rooms we see are offices for Mr. Sheldon, the kitchen from Welcome to the Chum Bucket, and of course the legendary laboratory. We do also eventually see the diabolical duo's bedroom, and it's nice and cozy. The ranking here really depends on how much of a fixer-upper you want to do. Most of the time, this place is caked in cobwebs and skeletons. Still, we know the Chum Bucket belongs here. Grandma SquarePants' house, one of, if not the most accurate places in the show. Tell me this house doesn't remind you of your grandparents. I'll admit, I don't particularly care for the outside. I do enjoy the decorations here though. They fit Grandma SquarePants well, like this rocking chair with shells or this weird gnome lamp. Did you know we haven't been here since Pet Sitter Pat? That's all the way back in season 8. That's around 13 years ago. Can we get a modern episode set here? I want to see the current team go ham on this house. If it looked this alive during the older seasons, imagine what they could cook up now. Also, for some reason, a TV show set in the show copies her house except for some color swapping. Still kind of weird that this place is in the middle of nowhere, but I guess that's what retirement funds can get you. Grandma's house. Oh, you thought we were done with the old codger? Nope, this is the residence of Grandma, that creepy hag who is fattening up Gary in Have You Seen This Snail? The outside is a fairly suburban home with a single car garage and trimmed lawn. Just like how the last place was super accurate, the designers also nailed this one too. I can smell the old wallpaper. I can hear the outdated TV blaring crappy daytime dramas. I can nearly taste the heart-shaped cookies. The snail room isn't exactly my cup of tea, but there's still detail here. And have I mentioned the kitchen yet? Wow! Take note of the weird gnome thing on the right. I'm not sure what the trend here is with gnomes, but alright. B-Tan! Why isn't this in the next tier? I hear you asking with that exact voice. Grandma's house seems so cozy. Well, I can't in good faith recommend the corpse room. I can see an argument for a higher tier, but the overall presentation just isn't my thing. It's a bit too gaudy, a bit too loud. Massage. Before I take a look inside this building, Massage already gets maximum points for design. Whoever approved this sign is a deranged lunatic, and I want them in charge of every building in town. The place is so low-key. Candles light up the massage room, hippie paintings line the walls, and there's probably one of those meditation ambience music mixes going on. Not quite sure why it has a walk-in freezer, but who am I to judge? Hotel Halibut. Who knew basic cinder blocks could look so cool? Loving the small median out front, and check it out! I wonder what character could be inside that solid gold limo. It's another fairly standard hotel, but you can tell the budget has gone up. You can't convince me the lobby isn't a carbon copy of Krusty Towers though. We've got some basic rooms, hallways, even a pool. Also, do you remember the jellyfishing convention building from a while ago? Turns out this place is hosting the 36th annual Jellyfisher Convention. This is what I want from a convention. The Jelly Art Zone, hats, a counting game, a net repair area, and of course, no jellyfish convention is complete without a visit from the legendary Dr. Manowar. I wish Jolly Lodgers, the episode featuring this place, was better though. Also, no Jeffrey the Jellyfish. This is such a stupid script. Upturns. Where she sucks at designing a home, Lady Upturn knows business. There's so much fancy stuff going on in this department store. We've got posters, one even for... Is that Goo Lagoon? That stupid film that was playing in one of the movie theaters earlier? Honestly, I'm a bit lost on what or how to describe upturns. Maybe I'm just not used to urban designs in town yet. Also, this is a super recent addition, but a new episode has a scene of upturns at night. The way the golden windows stand out from the night sky is something beautiful. There's also a zoo. The big spider is a bit spooky, but I'm far more interested in the small cages. Upturn has contained a big-nosed urchin, some rock jellyfish thing, and just a banana. Literally just a banana. At least it seems happy. Mystery store. I will fully admit, I do not like the exterior. I'm not a fan of the colors and the trim. The 3 lights are cool, but they don't save the mystery store. So I hear you asking, assuming you're not asleep by this point, B-Tan, why is this in the 4th tier? Also, when are you gonna fix your upload schedule? Is that Big Time Rush video coming out soon? I can answer one of those questions. Do I even have to describe this to you? There are so many details and they're so crammed together. There's scattered books, bottles, paintings of people we don't know, a barrel of swords, multiple shelves of old boxes and textbooks, and so much more. Dude, how long did this take? Who would be crazy enough to draw so much stuff, to color so much stuff that we gloss by? Hey, Sterling Richter, your designs have not gone unnoticed. Same for George Nechev and Brad Sutton. I am in awe of you guys. I hope that's how I pronounce their names. This is movie quality stuff, not an 11-minute cartoon scene. If you say this is a 5, I'm not gonna argue with you. The Thug Tug. The Thug Tug gets a silver medal for the tough guy bars in the show. You can guess what number 1 is. The Thug Tug is cool. Pretty much everything I've described from other bars applies here. The Thug Tug is just better. Same concepts, greater execution. Shout out to my boy the DJ. Rocket House. Holy shrimp! So the Rocket House is gorgeous. It's retro and modern and I love it. There's a spiral staircase to both the basement and 2nd floor. This is the life. Now, I will be the first to admit, the house launching into space and crashing back down might be considered a downside. Think of it more as a character building exercise, swords and such. This is what I'm talking about. The slits in the helmet are windows and the horns are the usual Bikini Bottom pipes. This image is all I have, but man, what an image. Mama Bass's house. The mother of our favorite pickle hider lives well. We don't see the main floor all that often, but it looks comfy. Downstairs though, this is where opinions will get heated. Bubble Bass lives in her basement. It is a pigsty. The couch is torn, the paneling is breaking down, and the carpet is an ugly greasy yellow. But dude, take one day to clean this place up and it'd be a game changer. I can already see the basement looking cozy. I hope you can understand why I'm giving this a 4. Foundation wise, this place is amazing, but due to being manned by Bubble Bass, it's a nasty swamp of trash and BO. The disgusting aroma of the basement is only matched by genuinely how cozy it could be. I don't factor it into the rating, but if I got ownership, the first thing I'm doing is throwing out everything. We could manage such a fire fixer-upper, and I haven't even covered the hatch to the secret bunker. I want to love this place. I really do. Bubble Bass is trying his hardest to stop that though. Mrs. Puff's house. I'm jealous of Puff Mama. As a kid, I never focused on the details, but Mrs. Puff has a fantastic house. A gorgeous lawn, nice kitchen, an infinite looped painting, cute lighthouse TV, and a comfy couch. Sure, I could do with a little less pink, but I think it's worth the price. This feels like the house of someone happy with their life. Until SpongeBob bounces in. The Spud Bucket. Do not judge a book by its cover. The Spud Bucket looks horrible on the outside. It's a different story when you open the doors. First off, this potato chandelier is amazing and I want 5. Second, this potato painting is beautiful. Plankton's family dropped more cash on the lobby than the kitchen though. It's not bad, just a bit more empty. I'm sure you can tell by now, but this place likes potatoes. Potato everything. My only concern is the fire hazard. The whole thing is made out of wood. Yeah, they're underwater, but we've seen what happens. The Salty Spittoon. You gotta be the baddest of the bad to get in. You gotta have muscles. You gotta have muscles on your muscles. You gotta have muscles on your eyeballs. Let me demonstrate. Many a fan have wondered what the inside of the salty spittoon looks like. Today, we finally know. The spittoon is a dirty heap of scrap metal. I wouldn't want it any other way. What blows me away the most is the kitchen. They've got a blast smelter. No wonder so many workers have died. Of course, any tough guy bar isn't complete without a rodeo. Hey look, it's Sandy. At the end of Salty Sponge, we cut back to the kitchen, and it's so sweet. I wish I was as cool as SpongeBob. Post office. Ain't this place a kick in the head? I can't place my fingers on it, but this post office is so refreshingly simple. Simple sign, simple warehouse units, and a simple but charming door. It just feels honest, and it has heart. It is a bit far out of town in the big empty, so I imagine any couriers might run into sea bears or bulls. Shout out to all mail people out there. It's a lonesome road you walk. Dead money. Mrs. Puff's boating school. I covered it in one of the inconsistencies videos I did, but I never understood the density of this school. Sometimes it's one room, other times an entire campus complete with clubs, lockers, recess, and more. The only complaint I have is about the furniture. Tell me these desks look sturdy. That is nowhere close to the amount of space needed for a binder or notebook. Also, we do have to include the back of the room. I'm with SpongeBob on this. This desk is horrifying. The hallways are surprisingly expansive, complete with a trophy case for an oar. You know, oars. The thing used to paddle boats. You'd have to be real stupid to think this is something like, I don't know, a spatula or something. Say what you will about some elements of the classroom, but Mrs. Puff is a dedicated teacher. I've always loved how the parking lot area is more like a harbor dock, where each of the boats pull into port. Bring back the fire jump, please. I miss it. The Jelly Squirt Inn. Okay, deep breaths. Focus. Every time I talk about the season 13 episode Dopey Dick, I glaze it endlessly. The first step of addiction is admitting you have a problem. And I don't have a problem because the Jelly Squirt Inn is fire. It's old-timey with desaturated blues and grays. It's worn and weary, but I love it so much. Don't forget the paintings about hunting a king jellyfish. I'm physically restraining myself from turning this into a tangent on the episode. The Fry Cook Museum. This place is one of the most forgotten locations, which is a shame. By this point in the video, it's the millionth museum we've covered, but it benefits from being hyper-focused. Only SpongeBob SquarePants can pull off a Fry Cook Museum. My biggest question goes to the exhibit of... I don't even know. Is he the chef? I want to know more. I want to explore more of the Fry Cook Museum. Who discovered the spork? What's with this 8-legged oven mitt guy? And most critically, how did the golden spatula end up in that giant thing of grease? The Fry Cook Museum is genuine. It fully commits to the idea of celebrating fry cooking as a history. Bowl. The moment my mortal eyes laid upon this building, I knew it was destined for greatness. Excellent design both inside and out. Look at this idiot not wearing the appropriate shoes. Check out these lanes, that carpet, the bumpers, the tiki designs. I don't know why the best buildings get 1 or 2 10-second appearances in the show. There's an entire episode just waiting to happen here. Nice cod. Sandy's Tree Dome. Living alone and isolated under the ocean, the dome is really great. There's air, flowers, and even a bird here. Don't ask how it's gonna get home. Inside the tree are a few rooms, but we've just seen the bedroom and a living room. A majority of the furniture is quite rustic. Log stumps, oil lamps, and classic picnic tables. My personal favorite is during Survival of the Idiots. Turning the dome into a frozen tundra was such a good choice. Crazy how one seasonal difference can make the tree dome so hostile. I think I'd enjoy living here, but I would need some hobbies. Maybe reading or woodworking. Wow, I'm surprised you made it this far up. Most people starve to death around the 3rd floor. This is the peak. These buildings are perfect, or are as close to as possible. Taco house. Okay, so setting up shop on top of a mountain is not ideal. But you know what is ideal? A movie budget for the show's artists. Taco house feels like a home base location in an RPG. It's cozy, quiet, and full of detail. Is it wrong to say I'd be down to live here? Obviously, not in the main dining area, but wow, man. Must suck to clean though. The Buccaneer. Can you put me online with the designer for the Buccaneer? Because holy fish paste. Stop making glorious locations that get 5 seconds of screen time. Whoever came up with the idea of the sea mines basically acting as trees, you need a raise. Maybe multiple. The Buccaneer is a swashbuckling dirty dive. Pirates are the theme here. Inside, there's not too much to write about. It's a compact bar. Any decaying ship-type building is fantastic. No exceptions here. The mall. The Bikini Bottom Mall is huge. Originally, I was going to cover this entry in separate pieces, but I think it fits better as one thing. First, the mall sells seahorses. This seems like an ethical concern. Second, while it has been in a few episodes, nothing sells it as well as Mall Girl Pearl. I am well aware of my bias and I am letting it control this entry. I love Mall Girl Pearl. It's a fantastic episode. There's so much background detail to gush on. Here is Hot Dog on a String. The Weenie Hut franchise finally has some competition. It's a giant solo cup. You know, maybe it's not the Weenie Hut copyright we should be worried about. That's a carbon copy of the Chum Buckets helmets. Next up, my personal favorite of the bunch, Scorched Coral. When I was writing this script, going in alphabetical order, I thought the giant sea mine was so cool. After having seen what feels like 30 different buildings with the same idea, it doesn't hit as hard. The interior is great, and as you can tell, they sell a lot of stuff. Bangles and Dangles, or Dangles and Bangles as the script calls it, is the weakest of the bunch. It's a fairly typical jewelry store, but we are not done. In the depths of the mall, where the sun don't shine, enter Grandma's Apron. We love Grandma's Apron. In addition to these main stores, the episode passes by mountains of other ones. It's so fun to rewatch the episode and pick up on all the references. How about the 0-cent store? Tom's Wig Shop? It's so much fun! It's a bit unfair to the other buildings for a mall to be ranked though. It's a building with other buildings inside. Of course it's gonna get a higher ranking. And you know, I don't care! I love the Bikini Bottom Mall. Pets. Yeah, I know. A pet shop? In the final tier? Am I crazy? Yeah, I thought that was obvious. I'm a SpongeBob YouTube channel. Is every building from the 2nd floor watching? This is how you do a simple box design. Decorate it with a lovely sign, throw in furniture, and stuff out front. Although nothing is stopping me from running up and stealing one of these cages. Inside, it's just so pretty. There's layers here. What animals can I buy at Pets? We've got nematodes, a hermit crab, I believe, and just a normal crab? Do I want to question how that is a thing, or is it better to live in blissful ignorance? We've also got a scallop, an adorable worm, and an urchin. I love how it gets a tiny hamster wheel. Inside, we've got sea monkeys, straight up jellyfish. I'm sure taking home a wild animal is a great idea. And I'm sorry, but this is the kind of referencing I love. Recognize these guys? The peanut worms from Growth Spout. This spiky fella? He's from one of the most forgettable episodes from Season 7, Whelk Attack. I'm confident this episode is just a fever dream or collective hallucination, by the way. Next up is a worm hog from Farmer Bob, some adorable sea bunnies, a Lovecraftian horror beyond our comprehension, and finally, is that the earworm? There's some kind of black market here. Petco should not be selling puffy fluffies. I love this store, but am terrified of where they source their pets from. As expected, I went on my usual Betan trivia rabbit hole. This episode is about Patrick adopting a rock, and turns out the guy who invented the pet rock became a millionaire from selling rocks. Also, the Mars Perseverance rover got a rock in one of its wheels. It didn't cause any damage and stayed for more than a year. From early February to mid-April 2022, Perseverance had a companion to help with the lonely trek across Mars. That's over 50% of this whole journey, by the way. NASA canonized that the rover adopted a pet rock. Nature is healing. 2 years later it happened again, and this time they had Perseverance tweet about it. "Hi little fella, looks like I've picked up another rock friend that my operations team has named Dwayne. My wheels pick up rocks from time to time. They're harmless and will eventually fall out as I drive around. Until then, it's nice to have a companion with me. Dwayne, the rock. I get it. Am I missing something? It's a nice name for a rock." This is what the internet was made for. There's a funny article about this whole thing by Eleni Ravanis, a student collaborator at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. The closest thing is going to be Hawaii, featuring the University of Hawaii at Manoa. Average in-state tuition of $11,000. Hawaii is one of, if not the most expensive states to live in. Tanks have learned their strengths and weaknesses. It also doesn't help that I swear this isn't planned. The Flower Pot Florist, one of the Chum Bucket variations. I already mentioned it during the Plankton Plan tier list video, but this place has some genuinely insane visuals. The colors, the flowers, the design, I just love it all. That's not even mentioning the swans in the back. The flower pot is truly unique. Nothing manages to match the sheer number of plants here. Even the Chum Bucket outside is fitted with a giant flower and the whole thing is a plant pot. Gun to my head, if I had to make any criticisms, it'd be the lack of windows. I don't know how fair that is though, since again it is just a recycled Chum Bucket. It's my video and I say the Flower Pot Florist is peak. Fancy. Oh wait, maybe I could do like a French accent or something, be like, fancy, No words. I have nothing to describe how amazing Fancy is. I don't want to know how much the town spent on this construction project. A sunken ship in a giant bottle is so fun. The dining hall takes place below deck with windows throughout the hull. I somehow forgot about the episode Les Big Switch, where SpongeBob goes to work at this place, and check out that kitchen. For being high-end, it's not as cramped as I'd expect. This light fixture overhead is awesome because it's using the great pattern thing that most ships have. You know, the fence, the thing where you like throw somebody under deck or into the brig or whatever I'm spouting off. That woodwork, that flooring. I guess I never realized how small this room is. Mamma mia! I'd fancy that Fancy is a respectable place and knows what it wants to be. The only downside is the lacking size of the dining hall. Reservations are likely crammed up to next year. Good luck getting a seat, if you can even afford it. Patrick Core. Pat may be dumb, but his brain isn't empty. He comes up with Patrick Core. And you know, I dig the design. 2 entrances to avoid foot traffic jams, hundreds of windows, and a satellite on top. Do you see this room? Why is there so much detail? Why is he fighting a bull? Who cares? I love Patrick Core. Patrick Core wouldn't make me crunch and sleep in my cubicle. I hope. I don't think I have a low enough voice to be able to do like the smooth, silky, beautiful blow your top lounge. I mean, maybe it kind of sounds funny. Maybe I'll record it like that. I love water. Blow your top lounge. I'm gonna show you the exterior of the building. Do you need any more convincing as to why this is top tier? From the front, this is obvious. Everything here is focused on being cool. You get hit with this gorgeous snare and sexy neon light. The moment you enter this club, it all clicks. The lighting, the curtains, the stage, the chairs, the people, the paintings, it all just plays in tune. Even the color palette is subdued yet punchy. I can hear shoes clack on this floor, drinks swash in glasses, the dim buzz of the lamps over top the booths. It's all so gorgeous. We don't see it, but I know in my heart there is a bar of some kind off screen. This is one of the buildings I genuinely want to see more of. I want to admire the paintings, get a drink, learn the history of cool music in town, and listen to some underwater improv. Maybe it's not the biggest or the richest, but the Blow Your Top Lounge is one of, if not the most beautiful and immersive buildings in the entire show. Bikini Bottom Fire Department. Shell yeah. Nobody hates the fire department. The outside is a massive fire hydrant. They have a garage, complete with the usual equipment and vehicles. Upstairs are the bunks, which I have no idea if that's accurate or not. Inside this room is the first ever fire they got called on to put out. They keep it here as a memento, forever burning. The first flame. There's a Dark Souls reference in here somewhere, but I'm not grossly incandescent enough to think of it. What good would a fire department be without their iconic poles? These ones come buttered. Just be careful with which pole you choose. Some are a bit freakier than others. This is a great time to point out, this is a volunteer fire station. In Bikini Bottom, you can get court mandated to serve as a firefighter, as we learn with Squidward, unhappily filling in for Mr. Krabs. Pretty sure that's a felony. Ironically enough, the place doesn't have a sprinkler system, as it burns down since SpongeBob accidentally releases that captured fire. Man, maybe we should have extinguished the first flame instead of perpetuating the cycle over and over and over and over. What did the author mean by this? Goofy Goober's Ice Cream Party Boat. I love how this stupid ice cream bar has a higher budget than any municipal building in town. They have lights, smokestacks, I think, and a piano walkway. I'd wager even more cash was spent on the decorations inside. Every time we revisit Goofy Goobers, I swear there's something new to admire. When Pat works there during the Goofy Newbie, we see employee spots and a walk-in freezer. Also, I really like this image. Nobody's gonna fight me on loving Goofy Goobers. Anyone who says they hate this place has obviously never been. I wouldn't recommend you to work here though. Sounds miserable. It's time for the wash! Bargain Mart. Meeting all your spatula needs. The best grocery store in the series, hands down. Just like their best product, Kelpo, Bargain Mart is known by every fan. That treasure box with a skull and bones is iconic. I didn't think a grocery store could have a soul, but here I'm proved wrong. It features an iconic orange wallpaper, stacks of shelves, a ceiling with plenty of rope, and even a kiddie ride out front. Some of the modern episodes give us great shots. Take some of these from Goodbye Krabby Patty, or this one from The Nitwitting with a refrigerated section. I want to say that's a callback to a deleted scene from Help Wanted with a free samples area. There's also an unused design of this place, and look at how cursed this is. Ugh. I think I just felt my skin curl. Bargain Mart was here all the way at the beginning of the show, and it will continue to live on. We love Bargain Mart. It's a symbol for the genius world design of SpongeBob SquarePants. Bikini Bottom Station. By Neptune, Bikini Bottom Station is awesome. This is a subway station and just, I love it. It's so incredibly rare for a building to be underground in this show. There's a vibe here that nothing else manages to recreate. It's so different. Maybe I just really like subway stations. Who knows? Topside is an alright building. I'm not a big fan of how simple it is, but it works. I especially love the HD rendition of the subway in Mustard O' Mine. It's so archaic and forgotten. I don't want to be that guy, but it gives me the same vibes as the mall from Kane Pixel's Oldest View. There are other stations in use as well, like Conch Boulevard. Bikini Bottom's architecture is all about open space and tons of windows. The underground station is tiny and dark, and I adore that contrast. Harold Flowers' house. Easily the best anchor in the show, and you know it. Where do we even begin? If there's one thing Krabs is good at, it is hoarding. His walls of knickknacks are so intriguing to me. You could spend hours just looking at everything, wondering about all the stories associated. What's with the trident? All these hooks? What's the spot? How about various classifications of shells or a painting reminding me of Moby Dick? Not Dopey Dick. Don't. We haven't even touched on the various signs like Captain's Quarters or The Brig. And of course, anytime I get a chance to mention it, I have to. Of course Krabs has a vending machine in his home. He takes every opportunity to squeeze money out of people. We don't see much of the kitchen, but I imagine there are no decorations in here for fear of them getting dirty. Moving up a floor, we have the bedrooms, and I don't know which one to cover first. Pearl's is a typical teenager's room. Floral wallpaper adorned with posters of the newest boy bands. I like this one that just says Hunk from the Slumber Party, and of course, anytime Boys Who Cry are mentioned is always a win. Opposite from there is Mr. Krabs' room. I can't imagine sleeping like this is good for your back. The only thing I'm gonna say about the bathroom is that the toilet paper is pure rope. And that's everything. It's totally coral. Oh, come on. Don't tell me you forgot. The root beer cellar. No house is complete without one. And let's not forget the murder dungeon Krabs has. It's never been brought up again. This Luigi's Mansion style basement is dark, gloomy, claustrophobic, and intimidating. If Mr. Krabs ever had to kill somebody, and trust me, he surely has, this is where he carried it out. This house feels so realized, so full of life and details. Literally, the only complaint I have is we've never seen a roof angle from this place. You're telling me Krabs doesn't keep a telescope, or I guess spyglass up here? Jelly, speak easy, my friend. We had the Blow Your Top Lounge not too long ago. Throw on a roaring 20s spin, and you've got jelly. The paintings are easily the highlight here. Check out this doll, this Dawn, or these two Jelly Jammin' legends. None of that is even mentioning the stocked bar, the stools, or the kitchen that we don't get to see. I know in my heart the people involved, like the layout artists, painters, and more, all had so much fun with this place. Yeah, I'll mention it too. The jellyfish wearing hats and accessories are fantastic. I'll take out a loan if it means exploring a jellyfish hive with this level of detail. Fantastic building, Jelly is one of my absolute favorites in this list. Reef Cinema. By far the best movie theater in town. Don't even try to fight me on this. I love the Reef, and I love Reefer too. The tiki aesthetic works wonders here. At night, this place is stunning. Why am I still talking? I don't need to sell you on the Reef. The Grand Tug Hotel. I'm sorry, but Jetsam City is so much cooler than Bikini Bottom. Just look! Where do I begin? How do I begin? Jetsam City and the Grand Tug Hotel, the giant boat in the back, has such a different character compared to Bikini Bottom. Unless I'm forgetting something, this is the biggest building in this video. Hey, me editing. Am I right? Don't know, don't care. I love the idea of using a giant tugboat as a hotel. Every cabin gets to be a room. It seems so obvious to me now. How has it taken 15 seasons to get this beauty? Here's the main lobby, and here's one of the rooms. How much cash does it take to rent just for a night? I'm sorry I'm not going through every detail here, but I cannot overstate how creative Jetsam City is. The boat even functions as a clock tower. I want to know how Jetsam City was formed. Did all these boats crash nearby, or were they scattered wrecks, brought into one location? Also, it doesn't count into the ranking since we don't see an outside shot, but look at their station! The pillars, the signs, the tiles, the color palette. Oh my Neptune! Is it wrong to say I'd rather live in Jetsam City than Bikini Bottom? I feel like there's just something new around every corner of this town. Diner. Just yes. Everything here, yes. If you need a blueprint for how to design a building in this show, here it is. Only in a handful of episodes, the diner demands your attention. Nothing in the series can compete with the opening of Missing Identity, with the rain and sweet jazz in the background. Of course they would use a crashed ship as shelter. The tiled floor, the umbrella holder, the bar, it all just works. I'm realizing how much I put into lists. Like I go like, the blank, the blank, the blank, oh, it's so good. This place has everything that one fish from Patty Hype wanted. Food, water, and 1000% atmosphere. Congratulations, Diner. You're one of the best. Muscle Arms. A lot of the buildings so far have had good and bad qualities. Very few of them take location into account. Muscle Arms is kind of the master. A lighthouse crests over some hills. A worn-out road leads to a giant kettleball, slightly patched up with scrap metal. Barnacles encrust the bottom of it. Outside sits a lone mailbox, not too far away from a sign. All of this is backed against a rocky coastline. Look at the texture of the metal, the water, the sand. I love this beautiful perspective as we look slightly downwards. From this shot, we're on one of those hills. The designers even bothered to make the interior unique too. It's metallic and cold, but it is a home. There's a weightlifting poster, a shelf full of awards, even the usual Bikini Bottom window style has thicker bars. The giant trevally, that's a real fish by the way, I had to look that up, has a portrait of Incidental 46. Muscle Arms might be scrappy, but I love it. Show me the other rooms here. Please, I cannot get over this view at night. We basically never get to see the coastline besides Goo Lagoon. It is so welcomed here. So much personality is established in a scene less than a minute long. Even though I'm not a giant hulking weightlifter, I still want to go here. That is the mark of a great building. Muscle Arms, you are amazing. Kevin C. Cucumber's house. Of course he's rich. Why not? Spoiled jellyfishing Nepo baby has never worked a day in his life. Kevin's house is, and I hate to admit this, pretty sweet. Consisting of 2 pickle barrels, it looks fairly rustic on the outside. It's a bit more unique than some houses, but nothing blows your socks off. Then we head inside. Oh my Neptune. He has a library? He can read? Kevin has decorated his house with the one thing that gives him worth. Jellyfishing. Say what you will, but Kevin has great furniture choice. A jelly ottoman, but it's not an ottoman, I don't know what it's called. A jellyfish figurine, loads of books, a spotted rug, and a roaring fire, all complemented by a portrait of jellyfish fields. Further in, we find the kitchen and a living room. They aren't as swanky as the library, but still. Nickelodeon, make this jellyfish clock real merch. I'll drop like $40 for it. Eventually, we find ourselves in the trophy room. Hey Nickelodeon, if you're still listening, postpone my request. We need these jellyfish beanbag chairs. Genuinely, this is untapped gold. Various trophies and medals line a shelf alongside some plaques up top. Whoever came up with the detail of this knight's plume being a net needs a raise. And of course, it wouldn't be Kevin C. Cucumber without a fanatic devotion to jellyfish royalty. The Krusty Krab. Wow, what a shocker. Who could have seen this coming? Enter the dining area. Staple of many episodes. On the far right is a bathroom. You've got a kitchen with access to a freezer and an exit outside and a door to Mr. Krabs' office. Of course, there are a few hundred rooms that sometimes exist, like a storage room, a surveillance office, you name it. If you clicked on this video for some insane reason and have also made it this far, you know the layout of the Krusty Krab. There's so much history to this fast food joint. This is also one of the last entries I'm writing. I want to be free from this script. The Krusty Krab, too. Wow, what a shocker. Who could have seen this coming? Enter the dining area. Staple of many episodes. On the far right is a bathroom. You've got a kitchen with access to a freezer and an exit outside and a door to Mr. Krabs' office. Of course, there are a few hundred rooms that sometimes exist, like a storage room, a surveillance office, you name it. If you clicked on this video for some insane reason and have also made it this far, you know the layout of the Krusty Krab, too. There's so much history to this fast food joint. This is also one of the last entries I'm writing. I want to be free from this script. The Bikini Bottom Museum of Everything. This building and the next are the same rank. I think they're both equal, it's just up to viewer opinion which one is cooler. This museum isn't as memorable as the next one, but makes up for it in sheer detail and design. The Museum of Everything shows up in Insecurity Guards, where our dim-witted duo tries a security gig. First, we have the locker room. Ugh, nasty. The wallpaper is breaking, I'm pretty sure there's a dead body in a locker, and the floor is riddled with spills. That doesn't matter though, because look at this scene. There's so much to take in. The pirate skeleton, the curved ceiling, the exhibits, the cafe, the gift shop, and more. Look who even showed up. It's Monty P. Moneybags. We've got a prehistoric exhibit decked out with so much caveman stuff. That's not even to mention the Sea Star exhibit. Take it all in. Insane art direction. Genuinely cracked. There's too much to talk about. That is the best problem to have in this video. I literally am stalling just so I can show you more visuals. Did I mention there's even a floor map at the exit? We can chart out the blueprints and dimensions of this building. It's just perfect. I know in this tier I've been repeating myself a lot, but like, dude, how am I not supposed to be in awe of everything here? It's beautiful, it's heavenly, it's gorgeous, it's amazing, it's just peak. Bikini Bottom Museum. the classic museum in town, and the zenith of this stupid subplot. A Viking longship as the actual building goes so hard. And the shields spell out museum and the paddles act as support pillars. This is what I want in a Bikini Bottom building. Something so unique to being underwater it can't be replicated anywhere else. I still can't believe this place was introduced first in Atlantis Square-Pantis. Free admissions on Tuesday is also a great benefit. Of course, being a museum, this is home to classical art. Most of it is related to Atlantis in some way, especially with half of this forgotten amulet. There's a much more in-depth look with the console versions of Atlantis Square-Pantis, but that's a game, not mainline. Even still, it's great. The interior doesn't fare as well as the actual building, but again, it's an abandoned Viking longship. I guess the team was just on fire with creative designs this whole episode, huh? Nosferatu's Castle. Here we are. You remember that free pass I gave you all the way back at the start of the video? I am using it here. Nothing in this entire show matches Count Nosferatu's castle. Nothing also matches his name, because it's actually Count Orlok, not Nosferatu. Feast your eyes on this image. This is from SpongeBob SquarePants. This gothic, cold, and darkest dungeon-esque castle is in SpongeBob. Little known fact about yours truly, I love me some gothic horror. I am a sucker for old castles, stained glass, vampires, blood, death, morality, and more. You name the gothic horror trope, and I'd probably finish your sentence before you can. Nosferatu's castle is toned in sepia. It's murky brown and gray. The shadows are either black or a stained yellow. The moon is the sole light source. We've got a small hamlet before the town. Guess what? This is why I used my free pass. I want to just gush about this entire area's art design. This establishing shot in Squidferatu is just perfect. Like, what is there to even provide critique on? The coral is withered, the skyflowers are fading, clouds radiate from the mountain peak, there's a giant realistic ship just crash landed here. The town is so expansive. There's a hotel, there's a gate, there's a church. It's so beautiful. Even the stagecoach is similar, complete with skeleton seahorses. Blood isn't the only thing dripping here. A thick, misty atmosphere coats all of this small village. I haven't even mentioned the classic stone-walled farms or the distant forest of spiked trees. Genuinely, there is nothing like this in the entire show. All of this, and we haven't even reached the building for this entry. Giant tiles line the inside, stairs are held up with elaborate rails, the massive door looms over every character. The dining hall is terrifying, one long table and an extremely detailed fireplace. Okay, I hear you say, all of this is cool, but shut up, we're not done. The guest bedroom? How about this alien-looking lamp, the cartoony portrait above the bed frame, the curtains, the sheer texture of the wood paneling? The hallways are adorned with various vampires or interpretations of Nosferatu. Let's not forget the dusty laundry chute, complete with vampire snails. Does this place suck to live in if you are not a vampire? Yeah, but the sheer style and detail glides all over that. Nosferatu's castle and the subsequent hamlet is my favorite location in all of SpongeBob. More than the pineapple, more than Squid's house, more than the Krusty Krab. The artists are just given free reign to go ham. Also in modern day SpongeBob, the talented artists are allowed to post the full high-resolution images of their work. Shout out to Amy Lewis. She's the entire reason why I have so many great backgrounds to use in my videos. One of which you're probably looking at right now. We, to my knowledge, have not gotten a full-scale image of this gothic masterpiece. If I need to donate blood to make that happen, then I will. If I need to sacrifice people to a vampire cult, I will. If I need to throw away all of my life savings, I will. Neptune above, heed my call. Give me this image. Give me this image. Of course, where my favorite art of the show strikes, storyboard artist, storyboard supervisor, character designer, supervising director, and storyboard director Ian Vasquez is there too. For quite a few episodes, he's made promotional art, like this one for Tango Tangle or the Ice Cube slip for Salty Sponge. We have this promo art for Squidferatu. the first episode featuring the amazing castle and hamlet. This is not needed at all. This is frosting added to the already amazing cake, but man, I am not complaining. By the way, the German at the bottom translates to a symphony of comedy. It's just peak. Squidward's house. As a kid, you want SpongeBob's pineapple. As an adult, you also want the pineapple. Squidward's house ain't too bad though. The first floor is a combination of a kitchen, dining room, and living room. Taking the in-house elevator up brings us to the gallery. I've said it before and I'll say it until I die. The gallery during Snowball Effect is the coziest spot in the show. The things I'd do and the people I'd kill to get this house. I'm not diving too far into this Easter Island house because I've already done that for one of my inconsistency videos. Ditto for the next entry too. Don't mention it, don't mention it, don't mention it. SpongeBob SquarePants' house. Here we are. Welcome to the top. I don't think it's much of a shock that the pineapple is the best. It's like the Krabby Patty of buildings. We have gotten an extensive look of this place. First off, the living room. I'm surprised to say it, but the blue wallpaper actually works. Of course, we've got the classic couch and chair alongside the TV. The kitchen features unique appliances, like a surfboard counter or whatever this stove oven combo is. I want to say on the same floor, we have the laundry room. There's been two variations of it. One during Dumped and the other for Two SquarePants or Not to SquarePants. We've also got the garage. No boat for it though. This famous staircase takes us up to the bedroom. I love the red wall and the few bits of furniture we have, like the alarm clock, or Shelly. That splits into the bathroom with this stupid thing. Also, don't forget the second bathroom that we see in the first movie. He goes to both of them in the same scene. Is one just a giant walk-in shower? And hey, also, we have multiple closets. There's one that connects to the library, but one that seems to connect to the bedroom. Speaking of, here is that library. If I had to be trapped in a building for a few months, I'd pick SpongeBob's house. Think of all the novels and books SpongeBob SquarePants would own. So, obviously, SpongeBob's pineapple is amazing. There is one major downside though. I think the house distorts space and time. There are seemingly endless rooms we see once or so and forget, like the attic, workout room, jellyfish prepping area, wherever Patrick writes his famous song, this room with a target on it, the awards closet, potentially the same closet with this monster, the coat closet, which I'm pretty sure is just the target room again, and an alternate living room. The wallpaper from the Stranglers episode is green, but earlier it was blue. And according to Can You Spare a Dime, the upstairs bedroom is connected via a straight shot? Huh? If you can endure the endlessly changing hallways, SpongeBob's house is perfect and a welcome entry for the best building in the show. This video has cost so much of my lifespan. Let's drag it out a bit longer with a recap. And of course, it is again in one take because I hate myself. Things I do for this channel. Floor 0, Sea Chicken Shack, Hot Pepper House, Bikini Bottom Museum of Boating, Empty Head Society Clubhouse, Bubble Town, Club SpongeBob, Service Station, Flabby Patty Shack, Rusty's Ribeye, Green Light Driving School, The Krusty Krab, Squidward's Trash House, Upside Down House, Gary's Playhouse, SpongeBob's Trash House. Floor 1, Imagination Box Repair, Vats of Acid R Us, Bikini Bottom Arcade, Eat, Flippers Donuts, JKL's Hut, Bikini Bottom Prestigious Music College, Guppies R Us, Medieval Moments, Golden Patty Shop, Tough Tavern, Gas Station, Banana House, Record Shop, Noses and Things, Bikini Bottom Volleyball Courts and Appraisal Center, Chicken Parmesan Hero House, Tom's Tuilery, Conveniently Placed Rock Groomer, the designated area where you are permitted by Man Ray, your ruler, to obtain sandwiches using Man Ray dollars, Nursery, Department of Motor Vehicles, Galleria Diphtheria, Harry's Gym, Krusty Factory, Mrs. Puff's Lighthouse, Cooking Supplies, Nut Barn, Recreation Center, K-Blub, Rest Home, Bikini Bottom Bathhouse, Head House, Shady Lanes Assisted Living Facility, Snail Bites, 1942 Wizard Street, the Teenage Boy Museum, Bikini Bottom City Hall, Courthouse, Krabby-O Mondays, Stinky Burgers, Doodle Bob's House, Top Secret Laboratory and Research Facility. Floor 2, laundry, Old Man Jenkins's barn, Bikini Bottom Pillow Foundry, Pin Factory, Scissor Works, and Pitchfork Pantry. Movie Palace, concert/orchestral hall, Bikini Bottom Library, Mrs. Gruff's biking school. Shirts is Us, Harold and Margaret Squarepants's house, Bikini Bottom Men's Club, Sweaters, Martha's Craft Zone, Bank/Bank of Bikini Bottom Bank, Hotel, Bikini Bottom Bus Depot, Bikini Bottom Mint, Bikini Bottom Television, Dr. Crabton's, Boat Wash, Near Mint Comic Books, Cafe Pulp Egg, Pulp Whatever, Cephalopod Lodge, Chum Coliseum, Evil Store, Master Udon's Tower, Costume Supplies, Angry Jack's Shell Emporium, Mel's Man Salon, Discount Grocery Mart, Gifts, Bunny Buns, Dolesville Senior Living, Dynamite Factory, Fancy Hotel, Milkshake Academy, Full of Health, Interpretive Dance Academy, Animal Shelter, Yum Bucket, Pawn Shop, Hot Dog Shop, The Seven Seas, Infiniplex, Business Industries, Knobby Knuckles, Bikini Bottom Bakery, Lady Upturn's Mansion, Bikini Bottom Airport, The End of the World, Old Factory, Art Museum, Shady Shoals Rest Home, Blackjack's House, Electronics Outhouse, Palace of Pranks Gym, Biannual Jellyfish Convention Stadium. Alright, longest floor, floor 3. Warehouse, Grandma's Tea House, Weenie Hut, Pizza Pie Hole, Taco Sombrero, Wet Noodle, Taylor Tom's Tailor Shop, Hook Museum, Tryouts Kitchen, Wrestling Center, Sponge Tom's House, the famed Bikini Bottom Opera House, Juice Bar, Rock Bottom Bus Station, Dr. Calamari's Physician, Vascar Daytona 400, Hi Dad, Krusty Krab Stadium, Jewelry and Jewelry Store, Krusty Towers, King Neptune's Castle, Books, Patrick Starr's House, Bistro or Bistro, however you pronounce it, I forgot, Kelp Shake, Tank, Rock Bottom Mall, Bikini Bottom Jail, Crunchy Crab, Super Weenie Hut Juniors, Ice Cream, Roller Rink, Poseidon Elementary School, Philharmonic Concert Hall, Little Flipper Music Academy, Cuddly Crab, Bikini Bottom Outskirts Mega Mall, High Tide Stadium, Weenie Hut General, Bikini Bottom University, Poseidon Coliseum, sorry, Fast Mansion, Hi again, I think that's 3 or 4 times, Dad, Boat Parts and Garage, Food Con, Honeymoon Hotel, Bikini Bottom Rec Center, Electronics, Sunglasses, Bottomite Houses, Rice Barn, Dry Cleaner, First Nautical Bank, Coffee Bowl, Flower Shop, Music, Hypnotherapy, Bikini Bottom Men's Choir Studio, Ice Rink, Ye Old Krusty Krab, Hats, Groovy Groupers, Krusty Krab Museum, Magic Shop, did I say mattress shop? I don't know. Mattress discount, mattresses and then some, the Krusty Slammer, Big Shot Records, King Plankton's Castle, Old Man Walker's House, Patchy the Pirate's House, Howlin' Marlin, Avocondo Acres, Bikini Bottom High School, and Gym, Jack Plankton's Chum Farm, Bikini Realty, Bikini Travel Agency, Bikini Bottom Post Office, BB Nails, Squilliam Fancyson's House, Toy Barrel, Blue Squarepants's House, Adult Learning Center, Bikini Bottom Convention Hall, Weenie Hut Junior's Library, Grab? What is Grab? Why in the script does it just say Grab? Is that like the Grabbin' Mart or whatever? I don't know. Grab. Museum of Bikini Bottom History. Floor 4. Larry's Gym. Mrs. Tentacle's House. Rip Pants Inc. Plugs and Such. Snail Fail's House. Bikini Bottom Zoo. Vet. Bikini Bottom Hospital. Jelly Spotter's Clubhouse. Dance. Fun Arcade. Bikini Bottom Dentist Office. Fast Food Coliseum. Clock World. Bikini Bottom Police Department. Glove World Theater. Betsy Krabs' House. Pet Store. Chum Bucket. Grandma Squarepants's House. Grandma's House. Massage. Hotel. Halibut Upturns. Mystery Store. Thug Tug. Rocket House. Swords and Such. Mama Bass's House. Mrs. Puff's House, the Spud Bucket, Salty Spittoon, Post Office, Mrs. Puff's Boating School, the Jelly Squirt Inn, Fry Cook Museum, Bowl, Sandy Street Oh my god, I'm actually like shaking, dude. I've been recording for like 5 hours nonstop. That's getting cut from the video, I know it. Alright, floor 5, say it with me, 5. Taco House, the Buccaneer, the Mall, Pets, the Flower Pot Florist, Fancy, Patrick Core, Blow Your Top Lounge, Bikini Bottom Fire Department, Goofy Goobers, Ice Cream Party Boat, The Wash, Bargain Mart, Bikini Bottom Station, Eugene Krabs' House, Jelly Reef Cinema, Grand Tug Hotel, Diner Muscle Arms, Kevin C. Cucumber's House, The Krusty Krab 2, Bikini Bottom Museum of Everything, Bikini Bottom Museum, Nosferatu's Castle, Squidward's House, SpongeBob SquarePants' Pineapple. Good Neptune above. I am so tired. I go sleep now. I've been B-Tan. Thanks for watching.